If I could tell you what it really feels like, do you think that it would change a thing? Do you think that it would change a thing?
Go. You're live. Go.
Oh, I can hear that through my head. The intro.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, you can't.
How you going there, guys? And welcome to another episode of the Smashing Crossbar Podcast. I do apologise. We are running a little bit late. It's been a while since I've been back in Newcastle. Apparently, the internet in Charlestown is pretty shite. But anyway, we'll run with it. Just let us know in the chat if you can hear us, and obviously make sure you guys can hear the guests. We're going to get straight into it. There was a few things I did want to say first, but let's get into it. I know you guys have been waiting, so I will introduce the first guest, Damian Zane. How are you, mate?
Good, thanks. How are you guys?
Mate,
We are great.
absolute pleasure. Is it safe to say NPL royalty now? You got that accolade yet? 4 years, 4-year premiership?
Yeah, maybe at Edgeworth. Royalty. Yeah, that's about it. I don't think I'm treated like royalty anywhere outside of Jack McLaughlin Oval.
How many premierships in a row do you have to win to get a statue?
I don't know. Just want to win another one, really. Get back on the field.
Just want to get on the pitch. That's the main one. Don't worry about a premiership.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for joining on, for jumping on, mate, and talk a bit of NPL and obviously a little bit about A League, I guess. Our next special guest is another Northern New South Wales legend. Everyone around Newcastle will know this man, Graham Law. How are you, mate? Oh. It's like his license photo. It's just frozen. There it is.
Oh, it's moved. It's moving.
Yeah, good, thanks.
There you go, mate. Just again, guys, just let us know in the chat if you do have a little bit of trouble hearing their audio, and we'll try and fix it. And Ben will be onto it. My co-host Ben, how are you, mate? Thank you for joining us.
Well, mate, it wouldn't be a live stream without me, would it?
Oh, mate, what a shit show! Seriously,
You're telling me, mate.
it's like when they bloody brought in Friday night football in Northern New South Wales. Bloody hell, couldn't believe that.
I think that was Edgeworth.
The year I moved to Melbourne, bloody, I went back to see family and then get told, "Oh, there's a Friday night league now." I'm like, "Are you shitting me?" Good to see they left. They sorted that shit out when I left. Well, as I said, guys, we're going to talk a little bit of football and so forth. A little bit about Edgy, a little bit about Charlestown, and obviously, you know, where we think the NPL is and where you guys think it can obviously grow to and so forth. Let's may as well start obviously with, you know, the standard of we'll start from the bottom, mate. We'll start from NPL youth. Obviously, there's a lot of people and a lot of people out there like your Vidukas and so forth in the last month who have virtually stated, you know, the cost and what it costs to send you or to get your young child into the NPL system. Obviously, the cost of how expensive it is to what you actually get out of it. Damian and I were talking a little bit about that earlier today. What are your thoughts, Damian, on you know, the youth system? Is it good? Do you feel you get what you paid for, or do you feel there should be extras?
Look, I think someone broke it down. When you look at the big picture, I mean, the kids do 40 weeks pretty much these days. And a lot of the clubs are doing, well, I'm not sure, or clubs, I can only comment for 3 sessions a week, playing a game. So, yeah, look, it's hard. When I talked to my mum about it, and she actually said, we were paying money back in the days. She goes, if you want to, you know, it wasn't the same amount, but if you look at inflation, it's there. So I guess that sort of tells you that football's had the same problems forever. You know, it was no different back, 20 years ago or 30 years. I was young. Joe, it's getting flying by. I guess the difference was we only ever did 2 sessions a week. I can't ever remember, doing 3 as a young kid, unless, you were doing extras, privately, even back then. So, yeah, it's a hard one. I know from our club's point of view, we will always want to give more. I think it's improved every year, our program. Is a long-term goal to, I'd love to not charge anything, but I think till we start, everyone points to league and union. There's a lot of dollars flowing down in that, in those codes, and they don't have the juniors or the amount of juniors we have. So you can't relate the two, grounds are a problem. We've got so many people playing the game, compared to those other codes. Yet look at the fields. When they do the stats on it per player, it's just ridiculous. We just don't have the space.
Yeah, and that's obviously you can definitely tell when you go down into the zone Premier Leagues and so forth of how basic some clubs have still got it. It's virtually just a shed and obviously a little canteen, and that's all you get. As well, obviously, you don't have the nice fenced, sort of stadiums, and even a decent locker room and change room for some clubs is a struggle. Most of them are still in, like the old porter boxes and containers. Even still running the container shed. What was it like for you, Graham? Obviously, you've just come from Cooks Hill, and now up to Charlestown, who I know have pumped a lot of money into their, what I suppose you call oval. I played there a little bit as a junior, and again, it was nothing. It was a little canteen, and that was it. So, what's it like for you, mate, at a lower level?
Just same as what Zane's saying. Just facilities. It's the one thing I've noticed being in Newcastle. The participation in youth level is just growing massively, but yet facilities are reducing. Like even in the 10 years I've been in Newcastle, I drive past areas that even I recognised the sport was getting played on, and they're just disappearing. It's just, I just think facilities are a big problem that needs addressed in Newcastle.
So who's sort of to blame there? Like, obviously, you can go into councils and stuff like that, and government, obviously. Like, what's Northern New South Wales, obviously out there at Lake Macquarie, they've got a nice new facility out there with all the synthetic pitches and stuff like that. Is that sort of the way we should be looking at basic synthetic pitches, or just sticking to sort of what we are, but obviously just the money coming in, the grant, maybe a grant or something like that in Newcastle?
I think the facility at Spears Point needs mirrored a couple of times over. Zane will tell you the same. You get the slightest bit bad weather, and it's really a bit of a fight to find facilities for all clubs. The facility at Spears Point's fabulous. I think it had teething problems when it first started and took some bad publicity, but people are recognising the worth of it now, and we really need 2 or 3 of these spotted across the city, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Obviously, what was it, Zane? We were talking earlier, Damian, about obviously the MPL, and obviously even a second division, because there was original talk of obviously there's I can't remember now, it's changed. It used to be New FM League, but is it Zone League 1 below MPL now?
Yeah, Zone Premier League.
Zone Premier League, yeah. Obviously, there was meant to be a promotion relegation sort of scenario they were looking at, but I do believe they canned that last year, mainly because of facilities in other clubs in the Northern League. Is that sort of correct?
Yeah, that's correct, and I'm not sure how much I agree or disagree. I guess when they brought the they did want to lift the standard and want it to be above just local soccer. So in that sense, I guess they don't want a club up, for instance, that doesn't have the ground fenced or so forth. But yeah, there's some things like as long as they got dressing sheds that's fenced in and the field's not dangerous. I think it should be open slather, but I think clubs have got to realise too, it's easy to get results and come up. There's a lot of work involved in running a club now. It's not just come up and, in the old days there was 3 teams in a senior. You're now looking, by next year, we'll have under 9s through to first grade. We're big clubs, and at the same time, most of us, we've still got the one ground. We're still a senior club in facilities, but we've got all of a sudden, over 200 players in the club. So that's where it's become, I think, difficult. I agree with Graham. A lot of people are unhappy that Northern's making money, but I take a view in football. I think too often we're one way. We're too far business, not enough worry about the product. On the flip side, sometimes I think, you can go the other way, worry about the product, but with no money, it doesn't work either. So we've got to find that balance. I'd love a couple more, I'm not saying Northern are or are not going to do this, but I'd love to see that Spears Point facility. I'd love to see a couple more popping up and around and becoming, a real option for people. Because in Sydney, they're, are becoming the norm. Councils are sort of investing in that. They don't have to take care of it and so forth. But I don't think our council stage yet, so it makes it tough.
Yeah, I was saying before, I used to play at Charlestown. You've just gone up there, Graham. Same thing, like obviously you've got so many levels from, as you said, 9s to first grade sort of thing. I remember playing at Charlestown, and all you had was that top oval. There was nothing else. It was the one ground, and you played from juniors all the way through, because obviously down the bottom was the rugby league. Is it still the same, Graham, or have they bought somewhere else for juniors? Or
they haven't bought anywhere else, but the Charlestown are in a pretty fortunate position now in that they've got a facility agreement with, I think it's a rugby union team at Alan Davis Oval. Zaney had his boys, they came down for a friendly. They brought their reserves and 18s down there. It's a really commendable facility. 2 excellent pitches. They wear the weather well. I've only just been there, obviously, just arrived at Charlestown, but it was one of the things that attracted me to the club was the 2 training facilities down at Alan Davis Oval. But that's a rare commodity. Like if you go to the club I was at previous, Cooks Hill, they'll have one of the biggest junior participants in the area, and we really had National Park and really the athletics ground, which we weren't the main holders of. So you got over 1,000 participants at a club like Cooks Hill, and they've got 2.5 pitches to play on. It's just not practical.
Yeah, so we'll talk a little bit about as back into the relegation and promotion sort of thing. Are you guys both in agreement that it has to happen? It needs to happen. Obviously, I'm sure there's definitely a lot of young kids in the Zone Premier League that because like we'll say Cooks Hill for example. They've won it. Was it 3 years in a row? Graham, was it 3?
3 years.
And obviously, I'm guessing in a winning formula, you don't really change too many players. Did you have many leave and come, or was it a pretty well stock standard?
What's the question? Is it about us?
So what I'm going to say is yes. So what I'm saying is, obviously, if you guys didn't change your formation and your team, because there's nowhere to go up. Obviously, those guys are virtually stuck in Zone League 1 unless they unless they trial out, and then there's it's hard. It's not so much a question more than a just as one. Yep.
I think my point of view, sport in general, is there's got to be like, if you do not perform, there's got to be punishment to an extent. Otherwise, the league that you're in and the league below, it just doesn't grow. For me, just if you are playing in a league structure that there's no relegation, and the opposite, there's no promotion, it just becomes stale, and you lose a lot of competitiveness at certain stages in the season. And I just think that's that like, whether that's Zone League to New FM or New FM to NPL as it is, there's got to be promotion and relegation if you want to really get the best out of a league. And that's in any sport, to be honest with you.
I agree. Just consequence is probably a better word than punishment. I don't think punishment could mean a lot. But I'm totally with you. There's got to be consequence. Overseas, you're under pressure. There's not enough pressure in football.
Yeah.
It's not, I think we were chatting earlier, there's just not enough pressure on coaches, on players for performance. There's none, really. You're in a mode, and, that doesn't breed success in players, coaches, anything, because when you're in life, you're fighting to get a job, aren't you? Fighting to get good marks at school so you can get a good job. There's consequences if you don't work hard.
Yeah, that's right.
So that goes against everything in life, really.
Yeah, and you got to the A League. Zane and I were talking about it. Like, in my business, myself and my staff, we are measured. We got key performance indicators. You go into the A League, and you then look at these youth development programs, and you got to analyse where's the pressures in the A League clubs to develop their own players. Where's the KPIs? Where's the measurement? It's not there, and the reason it's not there is there's no consequence, use that word, for failure, and that comes right across a club.
Yep. Yeah, it's a big thing. Obviously, I think you got to. If anyone in the chat as well, guys, if these guys have got any questions for the guys, fire them into us. We'll get them through to them and see what they get to say. As I said, a lot of you guys in the chat are still in Newcastle. I'm in Melbourne these days, so I try and keep up with obviously the NPL and everything going on up there. But a lot of you guys would know it more than I would, so feel free to get your questions in. Obviously, we were talking as well, Zane, this morning about the difference in, as you were sort of touching on it with Sydney, how big. Again, it's a different kettle of fish. Sydney's a lot bigger, so there's a lot more teams. No different to Melbourne.
We're massive.
As where obviously Ben will tell you, like Melbourne down here, there's 3 NPLs.
You've got 3 NPLs, 5 state leagues under that, and then state 1 and 2 is split northeast, southwest, and then when you get to 3 to 5, it's north, south, east, and west.
And obviously, you watch teams in that. Obviously, there was the Geelong-based side who worked their way up to the top NPL, and I think they've just gone out of NPL 3. They got relegated 2 years in a row.
North Geelong Warriors.
North Geelong Warriors. So they were there at the pinnacle, but then obviously they lost players or different coaching or whatever, and then it's they dropped from the top into Div 2. Nothing changed. They went down again, and obviously they feel the pressure. So they know what it's like to rebuild and obviously get a better squad or do what they, do something different.
It's basically when you slip here, you slip hard.
You can slip very hard, yeah. Which is, I think, what Newcastle, Northern New South Wales needs to get to. Because I believe there's stuff like up near Taree still. Is it Northern? I can't remember the name of them now. But there's up near Taree. There's a team in there. I don't think they play in the NPL or anything like that. But they used to travel.
The one thing, the problem you have, which I do agree with clubs, if your first grade fails to attain a position that keeps them in let's use the NPL for example, there's an argument for all that work that a club puts in. If first grade fail, the whole club get relegated. Now just to give you an example, that doesn't happen in Scotland. So just giving Scotland as an example, there's a pyramid in place in Scotland where the Premier League, if your team gets relegated, the youth league is separate. So your youth team can still stay in the elite comp in Scotland.
Yeah.
And I think that's a basis that Northern have taken an approach in that the no relegation, I think, is to allow clubs to, if they were to go down, the problem would be they'd lose their whole club basically. Like a good example being South Cardiff. I think they were really unfortunate. The year they went down was the last relegation. Yeah. And that, I know a few people that were at South Cardiff at the time running the club, and they said that just destroyed the club, and they've never recovered. So, I don't have the answers, but I do think there could be something in place in our area that a team can be relegated on their first division on their first team results, but then there's a period for the club to sustain their youth teams and the infrastructure they've put in place.
Yeah. See, down here, it's if the first grade fails, the reserves go down with it.
Yeah, but I understand that in an area where there's a volume of people, Sydney, Melbourne, because the level of the teams looking to come in are probably at a level of the teams that get taken down. But we don't have the depth of clubs in Newcastle, so we need to change our model to allow for relegation promotion for the health of the competition, but also not to kill teams when they get relegated from a club structure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think a way of bringing all the youth. I mean, everyone talks about not playing enough games, even if you second youth together, split them in half and paired them together, and you would expect, you'd expect the NPL teams to finish in the top half, play one round or whatever, and then sort the actual comp. But then allows the second division team to keep players, or a team that's been relegated. Flock, where what we found once one team went down, all the young kids ran to the next club who possibly were going up.
Mm-hmm.
It is a tough one. It's probably the side of it more. If the youth weren't connected to senior clubs, I'd say, it'd be an easy fix, which, but yeah, it's a bit harder and different. Of course, it is smaller in Newcastle.
You got a question there for Locke, I think.
So Lockie Mart asks, where do you guys both see the NPL level in the next 2 to 3 years going?
In what sense? I think the level and the depth in our comp is growing each year. I think, we've played all around Australia, and honestly, I think for the size of Newcastle, I think we're batting way above our average.
Agreed.
I'd agree with that.
Never have we been disgraced. 1 games away away from home, and we play regular Barras. So I think we're doing really well in the scope of things. So where it goes to, I'm not really sure. It's on a level of how far could it go. I think it comes back our game to money, doesn't it? Which continues to hold us back. Until that starts coming in from the top, then it's out of our hands.
Your thoughts, Graham?
I agree. I think the levels of performance that our top local tournament, the MPL, puts in for the volume of people we have living in the area, we're easily punching above our weight. I think we represent ourselves really well.
I think the big one there again is facilities. Play South Melbourne a few years back, and the boys get off, and you're walking under the grandstand. There's a futsal field under
Yeah.
side. They've got a supporters shop, and you're just going. They're an ex-NSL club, so they're massive. So on the park, I think we're doing quite well. I think the level of the players or the coaches around here is great. Whenever I go on any licenses, I'm impressed more and more by the coaches. I think we're held back facilities. Hey, I think it's that massive an issue. We've got coaches equipped to coach teams. They need half a field to coach a youth team, and you're battling to always get that, and the quality of it is sometimes not the best.
Yeah.
Obviously, we were sort of talking a little bit. You're saying obviously coming down to South Melbourne and having a look there, and even Edgeworth itself. Obviously, the stadium has grown and grown. It's it was never what it is now, and Charlestown exactly the same thing. But I think there are definitely teams in the NPL that are still really struggling. Like we could obviously we named Valentine, for example. It's just I don't know. It needs a lot of help. I think, and that's no disrespect to Valentine. I think it's, as I said, they're only doing what they can do with what they've got. They need a bit of help from wherever, Northern New South Wales football, government, wherever it may come from. But surely the likes of, say, Maitland, same thing. Obviously, they've come up. The Stags even, they're dropped as well. They're down there in the same division as Cooks Hill, and their facilities are still pretty decent out there at Lol Peacock. So, as you see,
it's probably all the where clubs have taken a hit now is back when they were on the committee, there was 3 teams in the seniors. You're only at home every. You've got 3 separate days. You've got SAP, youth, and seniors. So it's like it almost takes a bit of the enjoyment out. And that's where we pretty much got on the fairly early. And we started a youth committee, and that's functioning, and sort of just taken a bit of weight off the main. And we're working at, getting a SAP committee as well, because it's just you've turned into a big club. You've gone from 3 teams to what will it be, 11 age groups. So that's a massive jump. For a club that's you're still the same. Pretty much with one field. The same people committee. So a lot of clubs, some clubs have really there in years, so becomes really, really tough.
Have you got one there for Mark? Can you read that, mate? I was struggling to get to that.
Ask if they think. Hang on.
Yeah, I'm just going to bring up a question here. I've got another one.
Just do this.
Just do that. That's why not.
There you go. Start from there.
What do we got? Ask if they think the fact that junior and senior clubs not being under the same banner is hurting the youth development, stopping the region from creating a wider talent pool. Graham?
I don't. Each club will answer that individually. I can see benefit both sides. But as long as they can both work together. Like I've experienced both sides of that in my time in Newcastle, and clubs I've been at where teams have been under juniors and seniors have been under different banners, and it's worked well. And then other times when there's been to be pretty blunt, in-house fighting amongst the clubs, like the juniors and seniors fighting for. And again, it comes back to what we're saying: space, facilities, distribution of funds. I mean, I for me personally, I think a club, if you're a seniors and a juniors, you should really be able to work under the same banner, because ultimately it's the same goal: develop kids to come through and play in your first team that have came through the club. So yeah, my own preference would be to see clubs unite their juniors and seniors, but that's not to say that they can't work separately successfully either.
Yeah, well, let's talk a little bit about your own personal career sort of thing, and where you've been, and obviously that's been a few questions I've had before we came on the show, to ask. Like, it's obviously, everyone in Newcastle knows you, Damian, as obviously a NPL coach, but where did it all start, mate? Like, who did you play your junior football with? Have you played football overseas, etc.? And who do you support?
Yeah, I started it. I support Crystal Palace. I fell in love with the right striking combination, and haven't been able to shake them like a yo-yo up and down over the years. As far as myself, I started Bay, just enjoyed kicking a ball at school, and so I went to school at Lawn Bay, so I played for and then sort of went towards Adamstown and I played a couple of years at Cox. Then then you got into Super League, and then went to the State League again with Adamstown, where we used to go to Sydney and so forth. So then I've just had a few Jets youth. Played State League down at Bankstown, and then come home, and then got a chance to go overseas doing my apprenticeship, and I was about 6 months in, and I had to weigh up, and I thought, look, I may as well go and try. So I went over and played second division and was there for 3 months. So yeah, that was different experience. I've seen a few of the beautiful things in football, and I've seen some of the shady football, but all good experience. Then it was back in a few clubs. I think I was in Sydney a year, but I had a stint at Valentine, and come back and finish 4 years, I think, with Edgy. So, and really spent a long time playing, and probably at the end of my days found my home. I think players are looking for the right place that fits them, and eventually I found it. I was lucky and been there since.
Fair enough. Graham, yourself, mate, obviously, not from here, obviously Scotland, you said. So what was it like for you, mate?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Started playing at a really young age. Started off at the school level, signed boys club level, and when I was 16, I went to East of Scotland League, which is semi-professional, probably NPL Sydney, similar. Then I went into the Edinburgh Hibs feeder team, Edina Hibs, hoping to get a pro contract, and I was there till I was Edina Hibs under 21s. and then I got released. You either get kept on or you get released after you get to 21s. You can't go any further.
Yep.
And then I dropped back to what's called East of Scotland League, which is basically back to the level of NPL, and stayed in East of Scotland and played there most of my time, just semi-pro. And and that's pretty much where I stayed. And then I finished playing just before I came out here. Just got to, when did I come to Australia? 10 years ago, so played to 32. Came out here. I did play out here for a little while, but I couldn't handle the heat. I actually came out and played a couple of pre-season games for Tanch at Jaffas, and Tanch said, "Nah, I think you're getting on a bit, mate. You might be better being a coach."
Oh man!
And so I just, joking aside, I did it. When you've played in Scotland all your life and you come out to Australia in September and think you're going to keep playing, and you go, nah, this is a bit warm. So yeah, then just went into coaching after that. Yeah.
No, fair enough. Obviously, there you go, guys. Bit of insight into obviously where the boys have been and obviously to where they are now. The other question I've had, Zane, obviously there's been so much talk around Newcastle about, you should be given a chance beyond the NPL, mate. Have you acquired your pro license as of yet, or?
No, so I can't coach. But so yeah, that's
End of story.
pretty simple answer to it.
Story.
I do intend to do it, and that's not for any other reason than why I coach, and that's to be a better coach and to give the players more. Each year, I think every time you do pre-season, you look back at the last one and go, you shake your head and go, what was I coaching there? So that's a good and that's my aim, I guess, in coaching is to be a better coach each year, and wherever it takes you, it takes you. If you're going to worry about where it's going to take you, you won't sleep.
Yeah, no, fair enough, indeed. What was that?
I was replying to Luke. He's letting us know that it's still 0-0.
Oh, still nil all in the K League.
In the K League.
No, fair enough. So obviously, we've obviously Ben and I have spoken about it over the weeks and everything else about the likes of NPL players getting their chance in the A League. Your Kane Shepherds, obviously,
Matty Millers,
and there's a few obviously others. Local Jets, obviously, Northern New South Wales have produced plenty.
Most of them come down here to play NPL.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. What are your guys' thoughts on that jump? Obviously, you've seen so many. We've seen probably more get their chance and then end up back in the NPL. Probably a couple of years after they usually sign probably maybe a 1 or 2 year contract, and then unfortunately they don't get another one. Is that? Do you guys feel that jump is too significant? Like, do you feel there should be somewhere in between the NPL and the A League? Maybe.
Yeah, there has to be. I think that it is too big because, and through no fault of the players, but the whole jumping from a youth team to a senior team in big as it is, and let's be honest, a lot of the on aren't they? And they end up not being the player, but they're able to keep up physically, etc. And I think we players, I'm everyone career span. You got those, they're going to have an advantage early, and you got, they're a smarter type player, and they might come in 2 or 23, but they might play till they're 30. So everyone's got this different window of when they're going to play. The problem in Australia 19 or something, you're on the scrap heap, and you're not doing as many sessions. I think we're talking about it. You'd have to be losing 100 sessions a year.
Right.
So and they're in a team situation where professional care, that's a massive jump. It's not impossible, but yeah, I think we're just missing so many players. No link in between.
I think the numbers speaks. I think the numbers, the people that jumped from NPL to A League answers the question. The jump's too big. There's got to be a middle ground to go between.
I'd agree with that.
How do you guys see that happening? Do you see it virtually being like I don't know what you call it.
The second division.
Yeah, it'd be second division, but like that second division being, top teams from each NPL competition, top 4 or something like that. Obviously, you take each 4 out of each state or something, or how do you guys think they should go about it? Obviously, if you look at doing it that way, that's a lot of travel. A lot of these guys aren't professional athletes. It's a lot of time off work and so forth for players. What are your thoughts, Graham, on that? Where does it?
Well, the biggest barrier is one you can't fix, which you've said it's distance. It's a big country. You got to slice it up. Like it is a big distance, but I also think I think Australians get a bit overrun with this way distance. Like a good example being even locally, we feel it's too far. A place like Port Macquarie. Why can Port Macquarie, not if they're good enough, not have an NPL team? Why can Tamworth or Armadale, that central area, not come to us if they're good enough and have an NPL team? Although it is a big country and I accept that, I don't see how, if we're to have a middle ground second division, that, for example, Edgeworth Eagles, if they were good enough, if they need to travel to Sydney or they need to travel north or they need to travel interstate, it's just what comes with a second division, which comes back to funding and how you fund this second division, if you want to call it. But I think that there's a lot of too much focus put on travel when you can break it up. You can break it up and have a New South Wales top team that can go into that second division, and then you can your Tasmania, your Queensland, and then when you work out who the best of that is, then you can create a second division.
Yeah, fair enough.
Interesting.
Dame?
I think it'd have to, if it was going to be the East Coast.
Yeah.
If there's West Coast listeners upset with it, it'd just have to, and there's just more teams on the East Coast. Facts of it, and that would work. They're the bigger leagues. The other option, and I heard that they were talking about the A League being in the second division, and I know that happens. You got Barcelona set B team and so forth all around the world. That's that way, and have the A Leagues. I couldn't see other clubs being able to afford to go to Perth and Adelaide and stuff. And the only way I see that ever working is if you made it a younger competition or under 23s or something in the federation team in with the A League teams, but I don't know how feasible that would be.
Yeah, well,
but I think clubs, I think what people say financially, what they forget is a lot of the old clubs and that, once one person starts walking through the gate, it's their ground. So, they don't need to get 10,000 people before they start turning a profit. And that's, I think, a lot of the problem with the A League, and that is, they don't have their own stadiums. So they have to get certain crowds even, whereas a lot of the old clubs, as I said, once people start going through the gate, they're making.
I think one question I've had in regards to the NPL and so forth, and obviously the Jets in general. You watch the Jets youth in previous years playing the NPL, and they've struggled. You know what I mean? Obviously Edgeworth, dominant the last 4 years. Jets youth were part of that, and they are recognised as still the select of the A League, and they're the growth. That's who they're meant to be going into. Obviously the top team, the main team, and so forth. But now they've moved to Sydney, into the Sydney competitions. I personally think, and obviously we've had Laurie on, we've chatted to him about it. I think they've gone the wrong way about that, in my opinion.
I can see where they're going with it.
I can see why they've done it, but as you said, Edgeworth and obviously most of the other A League, the NPL sides, have beat them, throughout the season, and convincingly, consistently. And these guys get a chance to go to Sydney. They get to travel every week, pretty well every second week, if not. I believe that should be given to a club like Edgeworth or your higher NPL clubs. Yeah. And they go there. And if they succeed, they stay there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, what's your thoughts on that, Graham? With obviously the Jets, do you think it's the right decision sending them to Sydney, or do you feel that they should have probably stayed in the NPL?
I can see the reasoning behind it, because you, as a sports person, and when you're opposition, whether it's an individual sport or team sport, but that's usually accepted when you are performing at the top level of the league you're in at that moment in time. So I can see the reason why the Jets want to be associated with going to Sydney, and I think it goes a bit further than what we are just talking about, the top team of the Jets youth, which is the NPL first grade team. Yep. I think what they're looking at is a bigger picture and getting the young kids down there early and the young girls competing with the supposed best kids for their age mark at that time. It was the idea to send PL4. I can't see where there's going to be progression for that group of kids. So if you take that group just now that are in that NPL 18s and 20s for Newcastle, and they're going to go down and play in NPL 4 Sydney, I don't think there'll be any benefit for that group of players. I reckon they'll be missed from this whole thing. I can see the benefit in 5 years' time once our best kids are down there playing against the best Sydney kids. So it's a bit of a split question. I see the benefit long term, but short term, I would have probably sent the 13s to the 16s down there and kept our older group up here. Because you've answered the question. They're not really dominating the league they were in, and they're away down to a harder division supposedly.
Correct. Damian, your thoughts on the?
Yeah, I think you probably. The benefit is for the younger grade.
Yeah.
Weren't getting tested. Me personally, if they had a stadium, I think they narrow player pool down too quickly. I would have liked, to have two squads in training. Again, how feasible with money, etc. But we narrow it down to 15 kids. Mate, at young ages, you can't tell. Anyone who tells you that, you can't tell who's going to be who or who's going to be what. A lot of players you talk to, Mac is a great example. Daniel McGreen, he's coaching the youth team. You ask him, he wasn't the number one player picked when he was younger. He got better with age. So I would have liked if they stayed in a bigger group, get more training in with that, and play for a club, because I thought by making the Jets, you almost get in a small. You start beginning to think you've made it. You're not close. You're a 12-year-old kid. Way to go. I felt that complacency then became a. So I would have liked a bigger. Now that they're in Sydney, I think they're going to end up in a better competition. Which is always going to help. But does that mean you've got the right kid? It's a tough one.
That's a good example, Zany, McBreen, and it fits in well with there being a second division. Like there's a great example with Maka. Like obviously I never played with him, but you guys did. I could name players off the top of my head that I was playing with that weren't the best at our level from up to about 18s, and then a couple of boys pushed on and had great careers, but they had that second area to drop to that was still a professional standard. Like how many guys in Australia do we lose to the game that don't peak at the right time when they're at an A-League club and they get lost to the game because there's nowhere else for them to go? Like Maka went over to the UK to find his feet at the right age and then came back and had his career over here.
Yeah, and I feel that a lot of Aussie youth are starting to do that now as well. They're just completely bypassing the A-League route and going straight from NPL to places like in Greece or Cyprus or Netherlands into those, lesser leagues to get there, to find their feet. And if they come back to the A-League, then so be it.
Yeah, it's not. I wasn't suggesting that the standard of the A-League's not good enough for these guys to play in. It was players peak at different times, as Damian just said. Player peaks, and a lot of them do, at a more mature age, they're lost to the game over here. They're gone. There's no very little recovery for them to make it back to being professional again.
Well, you talk about Maka, and the jump to the NSL, I don't think would be as great as the jump nowadays, because there's been so much sports science that these guys are elite athletes.
Yeah,
I think they cop a bit of stick for what they're doing in 40 degrees temperatures. Is insane. Really, they're a massive jump, athletic, to get up. Whereas back in those days, the jump wasn't as great, and Maka, and he showed that by in a career. But these days, you just, he might have been lost. He might not have had the career he had these days. There's no bridge in league that at least has you prepared as a professional to go into.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. I think there was one that come up the other day that floated back. The Kaz Patafta is an interesting one.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was given every chance. Obviously, over in Benfica, he went to over to Portugal and done pretty well over there, and was looking at being touted as the next best thing, and then it never happened. You know what I mean? And he finished up really early. I think he was only 27 or 28 or something like that.
About when I finished up.
And he finished up, and obviously he never really got to see the potential of this kid that they talked so much hype. Obviously.
Well, that's the other thing. If you got another division, maybe if you get in game, gets that game time, gains that level beneath, and then comes back and you got that player. I mean, a lot of players go out on, etc. So, yeah, there'd be plenty of things that would open up.
Yep.
Maybe an A-League team, he's got a player that they go, quite there yet, but they loan him out and he goes and smashes it in a second division. And next time they get him back in, he's ready. There just has to be another league. It's got to be professional.
Yeah.
Even if the money, the payments, they might not be up to what the PFA, I'm not sure. They'd have to be understanding and go, just give a starting point. There's plenty of guys out there for a chance that would play for, not a lot of dollars. You know what I mean? I don't know what. Cut it in half. I guarantee you that out there just want a chance. So I think that could be a starting point. It'd have to be, you'd have to build it. It couldn't just, I don't think clubs financially be ready to paying, A League minimum wage for a squad of 20.
Yeah. No, well, we've got a couple of the last couple of topics before we let you guys go. Obviously, the two main ones, I think, obviously the FFA Cup scenario. Alex Evans has popped his head in here on your Graham, mate. He wants to know your thoughts on the FFA Cup. So, what are your thoughts on the FA Cup as a whole?
Probably the best thing that got introduced in the time that I've been over here. I think it's basically a false second division that we've just spent the last hour speaking about. It creates a platform, even just for a short period of time, for the best or supposedly the best NPL clubs to go and perform on a national stage. Gives the players within those clubs an opportunity to get recognised in a competitive environment, because obviously Damian's spent a lot of time in those games and being right in the heart of them. And you can play A-League team as a National Premier League team. You can play an A-League team in a friendly, but it's not the same as a competitive match. And I think it's been great. I think it's been probably the most positive thing I've seen in my 10 years. I think it's been fabulous.
Yeah, Damien, your thoughts, mate? Obviously, you've done pretty well in the FA Cup. So, what's your thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I took a group of under 15 boys down in the first year of the FFA Sydney, and I read the paper, and it said Sydney United were playing Sydney in the FFA Cup, and all about so up a few dads and said, let's take the boys out there. And mate, I think there was 11,000 something, and the place was rocking at Adenza Park, and I fell in love with it then, and I just went, this is special. Like, FFA's done a good thing here. I also looked around and thought, you know what, the club must be doing all right out of this as well.
Yeah.
And you know what, that first time we qualified for the cup, the players, I actually told my players bigger than the league, so they bought into that. And mate, since that Melbourne City game, it is the one competition that I do not have to motivate. When you play in that FFA Cup, our dressing shed, you could walk in and you just know it's Cup day. The players know they want to get to that main draw. It's a real special feeling, and the nights and the trips and that we've had, for me, like, as a player, that's what those memories. You don't have to go to work. You wake up, get fed, get taken care of, and be a professional. Really good experience.
That was
for players.
That was my experience that you had, Zaney, because you beat my Adamstown team in the final. You got that dodgy penalty at 4 points.
Luke's coming with it. McBreen's coming.
I had fun for you.
Cheers.
But no, it's a great competition. It's one of those things. And you know what? I still think the NPL was a good idea. I think it's maybe needs to be reviewed again and tinkered with, but it was a good idea to try and create some tiers in football rather than just pretty much one night a week train. Minimum 2-3 nights a week training. So it's the next step is, I think it can only grow so. Yep. Federation. You then got to have a link between it and the A League.
Yeah.
While we're on the topic of FFA Cups, our first FFA Cup game that we went and watched,
Yes.
Liam Boland scored that screamer against the Coast.
Oh, yeah, cracker.
Down at Green Gully.
Green Gully, yeah, it was a
We went after indoor.
That's right. Yeah, nothing better than watching an NPL side beat Central Coast, I'll tell you. It was
That was a cracker.
And we were wearing Jets kits.
Yeah, we were at Jets kits, yeah, which made it better. We freaking the whole team and that, they scored that goal and they were all into us and we were into it and yeah, it was great.
And then old mate got the sack straight after.
That's right, and then the coach got the sack.
Yes.
That's right. Bloody but obviously the final thing on the FFA Cup, obviously edgy Newcastle Jets. What was that like? You know what I mean? Like, what was that week like prepping the boys? Obviously, the boys must have been jumping at the bit. They must have been itching to obviously prove their worth, obviously to get into the starting 11 and everything else. How was that for you?
Yeah, we were depleted. We had a tough game and on that weekend, and that sort of, I think, secured us being in the semis. Because we were worried if we had lost that game, back up after the Jets and potentially have to win. So we were pretty relieved and we went out, won that game, and then just straight on the game. Then Macca had only just flown back. Yeah. He hadn't played since he had a calf. Keanu Moore, he was starting, pulled out in at the start of the session. Dylan out. And then about 10 minutes in, Keanu pulled out, changed starting 11 and the way we're going to play on the run during the session. Next thing, I'm walking over to Macca after 20 minutes of session going, are you okay to start? We're going to change what we're doing and do this. So it was, we were depleted a bit, but we also had a really tough time. But that night, that goal, I don't think I've jumped that high. I think I've jumped that high, not in a while. And I'll forever remember that goal. That was just, you know what? I know we got beaten convincingly, but it was a special night to see Jack McLaughlin packed and for the players to have that one moment and what a moment it was. You know, that'll stick with them. That, you know, it is what it is. You know, they were superb on the night.
It was one of those moments when it happened. I just sat there and just went, "Yeah, okay, fair play."
Yeah,
fair play.
Yeah, it really was.
Well, do you know what? I've seen him do it before. He did it against the Chinese team for us halfway, and when the ball was rolling, I sort of looked at the keeper and I saw him off. In that instance, I didn't actually see Macca hit. Seen the ball go and I knew he'd looked. He's got a real knack of awareness where keepers are and yeah, it was once I saw Italiano, this is in. And yeah, I mean to hit it like he did, it was something special. It's great memory.
Absolutely.
Goal of the round, game of the round.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Obviously, if there's a few guys in the chat, obviously, you know, unbelievable atmosphere, one of the best games I've ever watched. As I said, 5,000-seater stadium there, and it was packed. It was, you couldn't move in there, and, you know, great thing for Newcastle, obviously, and obviously the local football and to see.
That's what it is. It's local football on the
on
the Australia-wide stage. That's how it should be.
And I tell you, I know after the game, like I was really excited for how the Jets were looking. You know, there's Shane Houlihan. He was just another level, and I was actually to see them what they could do last year. But unfortunately, that's football. You know, things happen, and he got injured, and you know the rest is history. But yeah, it would have been nice. It would have been interesting to see how they would have gone if that injury hadn't occurred. And yeah because I thought we've played them a few times, and I know it's been trial games, etc. But I thought they were really good that night, and I just thought the mix of their team was exciting, and yeah, as I said, football throws a lot of things at you, and
Yep.
yeah, fortunately for them, it's that injury
lots
occurred.
changed.
Lots changed, absolutely. Well, I've got one last thing on NPL topics, and then obviously we'll just sort of talk about obviously what you both are up to, obviously with your clubs, and what you're doing to keep the boys sort of ticking over in this situation we've got. The final one, obviously there's been a lot of girls in the chat and so forth wanting to know about the W League and the WMPL. And get your thoughts on that. What are your thoughts, obviously, on the WMPL compared to, is it on the same level as the male MPL, as in talent pool? Is there a lot of girls coming through? Graham? Oh. You there, Graham? Well, we might have lost him. We'll throw to you, Damian, while we're trying to get him back.
Yeah, there is.
I've not had the opportunity, having been coaching in the new FM in the last few years. Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's very, very, very shady. It's cutting in and out. Pretty bad.
I don't want to log out from
No, don't log out. We'll quickly we'll jump to Damian for a second. Just let the audio settle.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably taken a hit, the women's game. I think a few of the Jets played the local game, but I think it's definitely the attention it's getting and from everyone. But yeah, it's probably a game that's going to, you would imagine it grows quick. Game is massively. I know I've coached my daughter's team for a couple of years, and it's actually quite good. They listen. So it was actually. I think I coached my son 1 year, and that was enough. I couldn't handle the young boys because they just didn't want to listen at all, like most men. So I think it's growing. I think their facilities are slowly getting better. Lincoln, I know personally, us, we're trying to get our club as far as youth boys and SAP kids, and we're battling to, we're setting goals that we want to be happy with, as training, etc. If we were to take on women now, like, we just couldn't handle it. So, hopefully down the track, we'd look into it, but we'd have to. We don't want to take something on and run a program, and we just don't see any point, and it might then disrupt if we did grow space. But I also think if you're going to start something, you want to. I know we'd like to grow it from Edgeworth, not just grab another club, merge with them.
No, fair enough. What we might do is, guys, we might actually wrap it up and leave it there. We're having a fair whack of audio dramas for some reason. No, you can't hear. Ben's gone MIA as well. We might suss it out. We might tee it up for another night and
leave the video cameras at home.
Leave the video cameras at home. Obviously everything else, and we'll tee it up a little bit better. But honestly, guys, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you guys on and talk a little bit about obviously Newcastle football, from obviously grassroots up to the NPL. And as I said, we'll speak to you soon and try and tee something up again before obviously the season does get underway, as obviously we hope sooner rather than later for you guys, because I'm sure your players are sort of sitting around twiddling thumbs, a lot of them.
Graham's hopefully paid his internet bill by then and he'll be on properly.
I'm back now.
hopefully there'll be more than a 2-person limit. You can actually sit in the same room. We might work something out. Go out, have a beer, have a beer at your mate's place and have a better chat. But honestly, guys, I do thank you guys for jumping on, Graham, especially yourself at short notice, mate. Muchly appreciated.
Thanks, guys.
No worries, mate. Thanks heaps, guys.
Cheers, guys. Stay
Thanks.
safe.
Yeah, stay safe, guys. Rightio. We do apologise. I'm going to blame Ben for that one because
it's not even me.
No, because we were sitting there having a giggle about 15-20 minutes beforehand because this poor bloke running a quiz show on the internet was having major dramas.
Well, to be fair, everything was working fine. At the start of the stream was fine.
Yeah, look, as I said,
and it just went to shit.
What were your
We'll
guys?
get them all back though.
Yeah, what were your guys' thoughts? Obviously, with the audio, was it on our end? It was really hard. I don't know what it was like for you guys.
Well, I'd worked out that it must be something to do with the Discord settings because Graham's was fine for the majority of it.
Mm.
The problem was Damo.
Yeah.
It must be on voice activation and it's missing part of what he's saying.
Yeah.
That's why I'm clicking, because when I click, it sends something through our microphone, which then lets his reboots his microphone to start working again. So I'm just in there. That's why you'll hear like random clicks, because it's me clicking my fingers underneath the desk.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we do thank them obviously for jumping on. As I said, we'll get them on and we might try and tee up an NPL trivia. Get a few other NPL guys, coaches in there and hit them against each other. But we do want to get them back on and talk obviously about their clubs in general. We didn't get a great chance to do that and obviously see what they've been doing in this situation with obviously no football and not being able to really train and what they're doing to tick the boys over and everything else.
Again, we haven't had issues with
Rebecca.
other people.
It was bad. Yeah, no,
we
thanks.
haven't had issues with any other, well, generally any other
look,
sort of guests before. It's down to the individual.
Yeah, and again, if we probably left it at audio, if we probably just left it at audio, it probably wouldn't have been too
would have
bad.
been alright.
We thought we'd try and do the video and see if we could get it up and get it work, and obviously
we did it the other week. Well, I did it the other week.
Yeah.
In the exact same setup.
Yeah, and we had obviously Dan from over in England was on
that
one.
And,
so
we were doing it with two
dramas.
blokes in Melbourne and one from England. So
so there's no dramas there. But at the end of the day, we'll sort it out. We'll get them back and everything else. We do thank everyone for obviously their questions. We do apologise for the questions we didn't get to answer.
Telstra Tower is down in Melbourne. That's all right. I don't use Telstra.
Yeah, Telstra shit.
Exactly.
But yeah, obviously, if we're all good, obviously we might sit for a bit and obviously talk a little bit.
Talk and cheese.
Talk and cheese. Obviously, there was a bit I was meant to get out at the start of the show. I'm not going to go into it now because I want to do that properly. I might look at doing one midweek, just a little one, maybe a half an hour show, and that just obviously because I've got a few good things in the works. I've got a giveaway, which there will be happening. Again, I was going to sort of introduce that at the start of the show, but we will get that out.
This is where I leave you on camera for 5 minutes.
Absolutely, here he goes. He's busting for a smoke.
Well, yeah, and a whiz.
And a whiz, there we go.
But I'll still...
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Be on till my phone dies.
Couldn't you try Zoom instead? Not sure if
it's not the program.
No, it wasn't the program.
It's not the program.
We've used
the actual internet, and I don't generally have internet issues.
Yeah,
either.
No, we've been using that program for nearly 3 years, so we've had no dramas with it in the past. It's just, we hadn't really tried camera, and obviously the camera wasn't too crash hot. I spoke to Zaney this morning over Discord, and it worked perfect. I spoke to Graham before on his own over audio, and it was perfect as well. So the video may have just had a bit of dramas, and the video sort of may have been a little bit too much.
It's alright. Keep going.
May have been a little bit.
Put it in first.
Yeah, may have been a little bit too much, obviously on with obviously all that shit running. But yeah, no, I do thank you guys. How big would you like to see the A League get? Look, at the end of the day, Tim, Thanks for jumping in, mate, all the way from America.
Yeah, East Coast.
Sky's the limit. That's the biggest thing, you know. Like it's like anything. I'm sure it's no different to you
Everyone's
guys.
gonna see my lounge pants
No, look at it.
this week.
I'm sure it's no different to you guys. Obviously, over in the States, you know, like
Oh god.
you guys want to be able to keep expanding. Obviously, Bex has just put in was it into Miami and pardon me, and you know that's expanding. And obviously, you want to get more teams into it, and obviously the better quality players come in and everything else. So, as I said, sky's the limit. We want to be able to get, you know, we don't want blokes that are on the latter end of their career coming over. We want to get the young talent, you know what I mean, in their prime. You know, that's where we want to be. We want to be in Asia, you know, like your Chinese Super Leagues and your Japan and K League and everything else. Correct, which is now defunct, you know. Nashville and Inter. Yeah, Nashville was in as well. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Again, obviously, Tim's just put in here that you know they'd like to see 30 teams. The biggest thing with you guys is you guys use conferences, because obviously America's so big and everything else. So you've got your sort of two conferences where I suppose you can get your 15 teams each. Correct, to make those sort of 30 teams, and then away you go. And obviously you work it out. The top two teams of each conference or whatever play off, or the top four in the final, whatever. You know, we don't need to get to that. I think we need to get to a lot more than we're at. We're at 11 at the moment, 12 as of next season. You know, I think I think 20 is a good number. Yeah, I mean, I think 20 in any that's a majority of most leagues. No, I'm not talking now. I'm just saying, at the end of the day, you're talking, Tim saying, where do you want to get to? I'm saying 20 is a good number. You know? Yeah, look. Yeah. See, I think 16 will get. We won't see 16 teams. No, well we do, but we want them to be sustainable, and we want them to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I know what you're saying. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We want them teams. We want them back. You know, if we can get the Gold Coast back, and we get North Queensland, and obviously get the Canberra and the Wollongong, and you know, we can make 20 teams without getting 3 or 4 teams in each state. That's the thing. We are. Yeah, of course. Obviously, Zane was saying that earlier. It's a given. There's a lot more growth and there's a lot more teams over this side than there is over the other side. I can't see why there wouldn't be 2 teams. It couldn't be 2 teams in Adelaide. You know, their success proves that. If you can have 3 teams in Melbourne, you can have 2 in Adelaide. If you can have 2 in... You know, Sydney's another big place, so they're going to have 3 as well, like your Melbourne's. I think there needs to be something in between. Yeah. Again, Lockie Mars. Ben's ducked out for a smoke, so he's still on comms and everything else. He's just fulfilling his needs and his bowel movements before as well. So we're getting old, yeah. Lockie as well, mate. Obviously, I do apologise. We had mass dramas, and I had this whole list to run out. In regards to obviously everything going on between your company, obviously your dad's company, and myself. I'm going to try and do a midweek one early next week and virtually get everything out that I wanted to say at the start of the show before we had massive dramas and Christ knows what. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. What's that? Where the MLS owns all the teams so they don't fold. Yeah, right. Okay, so the MLS. Yeah, no. Yeah, well, that's another thing as well. Luke was also saying, Chris Russell. I think Ben is talking through the window. Absolutely, he's out the back. What do we got? Luke, should there be a cup competition for the Newcastle Hunter region? See lower teams like Cooks Hill up against Jaffers. Yes. Well, yeah. Well, there is. There is. The FA Cup is that. You know, the FFA Cup, you've got obviously down to Zone League 3 and stuff like that. So your Raymond Terrace played the Stags in the last one, I believe it was. So we do have it. That's a given. You know, like we definitely have the FFA. The FFA, I threw an extra F in there. The FFA Cup is that. You know, does it mean that once they get to a certain point, like your round of, you know, the teams that qualify for the round of 32, do the other guys play off for another inter-region cup? Maybe. You know, like I don't know, I don't know. No, they don't really have a cup. They've got, obviously, there's like a pre-season cup sort of thing, I believe, which is sort of like that, but it's not to that extent. You know what I mean? Like if you can win the Doherty Cup, that's in Melbourne. That's a position into the FFA Cup. That cements you a spot. So, It is a qualification into the round of 32, depending on the team and depending on what happened. It is, but if you finish first, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. If you win the league and you also won the Doherty Cup, well, the Doherty Cup is null and void. It's null and void. Yeah, well, something along those lines. Christy, are you going to get a women's beat? Yeah, well, funny enough you say that. I have not stopped any of them. I've spoken to name names. I've sent messages to Emily Van Egmont. I've sent messages to Casey Cassidy Davis and Ben's favourite. And I have reached out to Tessa Tamplin as well. I have asked them on Facebook and so forth. You know what I mean? So it's not without me trying to get them on. I would love to get a female on here. Not to break things up, but just to hear their thoughts, obviously, on the W League and what what the standards is. Obviously, we're watching a lot of women now get, wanting to get to. Well, obviously, everyone wants to get to Europe and everything else, but we're seeing a lot more get over there. And absolutely, absolutely the talent pool in the women. Yeah, I have to watch the women. Yeah, absolutely. You know, like absolutely. Surely Sam Kerr. Yeah, mate. Absolutely. I'm just waiting for her reply. So she yeah. I'll let you know once I know. Yeah, exactly right. If it's anything like friggin'. If it's anything like Hearts bloody rep, Jesus Christ. Hearts coach. Absolutely. Just taking audio and We had Bobby Burns lured. He was all keen. He was happy days. He had no dramas. Had to speak to Hearts because he had to get their permission. Hearts said no. They didn't want him to do it. So, end of story. That was the end of that. I'll try and sort something out for you. See what I can do. Cheers, Aiden. No worries, mate. As I said, I just named those couple of girls off the top of my head just because they were there. Yeah, obviously, absolutely. I'm pretty sure he's part of the women's fan supporter group. I can't remember the name. Yeah. So yeah, mate, absolutely. If you can tee it up, mate, you go right ahead for me. I'm more than happy to have them on and have a chat and get their thoughts, as I said, on the W League and standards of the WMPL, and cause I'm sure a few of them would have played in it if we can find one that has, and you know where they see them, where they see themselves. What are their ambitions? You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, if you can work it out, mate. Yeah, no, Bobby. Yeah, Bobby wasn't having a bar of it, mate. Well, he was keen, but yeah, no. He did. Look, as I said, I'm not expecting to get. I've been lucky. And I say that strongly. I've been really lucky and really fortunate in the last month or so to have. Mine's milk with 2, yeah.
I didn't make one.
No, of course you didn't.
I don't need this now.
No, what? Yeah, shit.
We don't need. Well, you'll need to have it on, otherwise it'll feed.
Oh yeah, damn. Oh god.
You have to shove so I can get in.
Oh, yeah. You know how fat I am?
Oh, that's why I put you.
And this is how professional we are, guys.
Yeah, like scaling chairs and stuff.
You're a bit close.
Well, again, my stream setup is built for one person, not two, in a very confined space.
Not one in the fat fucker.
Yeah, it's built for me when I live stream games, not.
I must say, Lockie, repping here, mate. Repping here.
Even if it's all disappearing.
How good is Kahaiba's new friggin' see-through sleeves? These are snazzy.
And the see-through logo.
No, there is.
And the see-through logo.
Yeah, no, classy. Totally wardrobe malfunction there.
Well, yeah, I tried that one the other day. I was going to wear my white FIFA Ultimate Team kit that I've got. No, not the white one, the yellow one from FIFA 17.
Yeah.
Sat in front of the camera, half it disappeared. I'm just like, nah, I'm going to change shirts.
Yeah, look, Tara Andrews. Look, I'm keen to find Tara Russian. I would love to have Tara Russian on the show.
Antona's got sent off for Suwong.
Well done, lad. Well done.
Oh,
good boy.
The Aussies doing it well in the K League.
They're loving life.
They're
Alex.
loving life. Sat with my old man here. Wants me to ask your thoughts on where the English leagues go from here. Hashtag go Leeds. Hashtag shit on the Villa.
Yeah, look, it's a tricky one. You know, like,
where can you go?
What's the go? Like, I believe, again, my personal opinion, I believe Leeds deserve to come up.
Agreed.
I think they've done enough to justify. If you're going to give Liverpool the title, right, and that's not me as a Liverpool fan. If they were to give Liverpool the title,
they have to enact promotion relegation.
They have to.
They can't half-ass it.
Correct. They can't just go, well, they've deserved it. They're miles in front. Granted, Leeds aren't miles in front, but Liverpool's miles in front. We're going to give it to them or whatever it is. They can't be really cats. They only had to win. Only needed 3 more points and was done.
Yeah.
There you go. But the guys in relegation can stay where they are, and Leeds and all that miss out again, and they got to go through the shit next year. Leeds need to come up. And that's not because you're a fan of them or anything like that. They're the best team in the championship at the moment. I believe even if they don't recruit and buy, like some clubs don't when they come up, I think they'll still be able to hold their own enough to survive. Again, my opinion on it. What's your thoughts on it? Do you think?
I'd agree. Oh, God for Jambok. Damn. No, I'd agree. You can't say you can't give Liverpool the title, but then not enact the promotion relegation side of things. It's either you either do both. It's a double-edged sword. You either do both or you do none.
Yeah.
If they're not willing to enact promotion relegation for this season, then unfortunately, full supporter, you don't win the title.
Yeah.
You start again.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
If you award Liverpool the title, it will be on the record. Doesn't matter whether it was Liverpool or City or Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. If you're going to award the title, then
Yeah.
the promotion relegation has to stand. The consequences and the benefits from that need to happen. And that's just not for the Premier League as well. That is for the entire English tier.
No.
Yes.
Wouldn't go that far.
No, you have to, because as much as it will put the promotion relegation, you've also got to remember promotion relegation comes with financial benefits and consequences.
Yeah.
And you can't do it for them because those teams in the lower leagues who aren't getting that money in will need that money to sustain probably for the future season coming as well.
Correct.
So you can't, again, it's double-edged sword. You can't for one and not for the other sort of thing. It's balancing out. The ones that are coming down from the Championship going into League One will be fine because they've been Championship. They've got Championship money. And that's what everyone's saying. Like, Arsenal, friggin' Villa and all that are up in arms having a whinge because it's going to cost us a fortune if we go down. We're going to lose all this money. Yeah,
good.
Yeah, that's all well and good for you. But think of the ones that are 2 leagues down from you that are in the same position. And that you don't hear them complaining.
Yeah,
it is what it is. And they are now at the point now that they understand that it is what it is.
Yeah.
If they go down, then so be it.
The National League has already been cancelled, though. Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. Yeah, so the National League in England it's done.
The National, yeah. The Vanarama National,
yeah.
But they don't fall. They technically don't fall under the jurisdiction of the FA.
Alex, what's your dad's thoughts? Yeah, well, let's get his thoughts. He wanted to know ours. What's his?
Bolton started in League One on minus 12 points. Are they in positive points yet?
No, you're dreaming, aren't you?
Are they in positive points yet?
No,
they started clawing back.
Yeah, not that many points.
They got a bunch of Championship loan players.
Yeah.
Tim Woods, you are incorrect.
Oh, there you go.
Oof.
Oof. Oh, so, no, but so I was almost sure that the national conferences and that were done.
Conference might. Vanarama National might not be.
Okay. There you go. National and South and North are still going. Oh, right, okay. There you go.
So National and North and South. What about under that?
Yes, what are the conference? I was almost certain I heard I thought Nationals fell into
Division 7 and below are cancelled. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So what's that? 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
Yeah. So Alex, what's your thoughts? Obviously, you know, without being sort of biased and wanting Leeds up.
Does that mean Sally Old Moore's still going? Yeah, they would be.
Yeah, they would be. What's yours and your dad's thoughts of it? Obviously, on it. Do you guys will you be happy coming up knowing that you've got a free ride? In a way, you know what I mean. Like they've just gone up you go. Yeah. You know what I mean. Right. You just didn't get to the. You didn't. There was still plenty of games.
Yeah. From another English opinion, my old man is the same as me. You can't give it to Liverpool and not enact promotion relegation, and he is of the belief that, as much as he doesn't like Leeds, they should go up.
Good news, K-League. Yeah, K-League's on now, mate.
Yeah. One of the Aussies have already been sent off.
Bundesliga starts up next week.
Yeah, that's next. But it's good. Now that one's doing it, the rest will now be forced to follow. There will be too much media pressure. Yeah. They will have to make a decision.
They lose so much money.
It's not even the money. It's the media will pressure the big leagues to start making decisions on it.
Yeah. Be hard to complete. League.
England's a difficult case in the fact that their coronavirus pandemic or infection rate is quite higher than a lot of other countries. So if anything, the English leagues are probably going to be the last to sort of enact it. Yeah. And if that's the case, I mean, they're talking about bringing games here. They're talking about bringing the entire Premier League to Australia. Why? Because we're an island in the middle of nowhere?
That was shot down very, very quick.
And so it should be.
That's almost as bad news as freaking what they were saying about like Sonny Bill Williams or whatever fighting bloody Mike Tyson.
It's-
I was saying the other day. I'm like,
Yeah, what's he got? Timmy Woods. Hey, I'm 13 hours behind Joel. It's only 7:50 here.
Yeah, don't rub it in. Don't rub it in. I'd kill for bloody friggin' Friday morning footy.
That's 7:50 in the... Yeah, it's 7:50 in
I'd
the
kill for
morning.
Friday morning football. You imagine that?
Timmy Woods, now you understand the shit we have to go through every time we want to watch a World Cup game. Because we have to get up at stupid o'clock to watch them. Because they're always played in Europe.
Yeah.
Australia always gets stiffed over for the World Cup.
Yeah, 15.
That's why, and I'll say this now on your stream, this is why Australia will never have a men's World Cup.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's a big one.
Only
The time
because
difference
there
is
are 100 times the amount of people that watch it in Europe and swear and live by it. They will not get up at butt fuck o'clock
And they
to watch it.
and they struggle with Japan in that struggle. Korea, sorry. When they
Yeah,
have
and the other problem with that is, Timmy, as well, is that a lot of the Asian leagues are by calendar year, like the MLS.
Yeah.
The A League isn't.
yeah.
We're not by calendar year.
What do we got? In my opinion, if the season is not finished, no relegation, Leeds and Brom come up.
You can't have it. Nah.
5 go down next season. However, League One will be complicated as they already have the Bury
Very
FC.
sorry to unfold.
Yeah, I did hear.
And you've got Bolton in there too.
I did hear of that whole 5 going down next year or whatever it is. I wouldn't be.
They're doing that in League 2, aren't they?
Yeah, I did hear something.
Or no, is that this year because of Bury?
I'm not too sure. No,
Because Bury got the kick.
yeah, they got the kick. Yeah, I didn't. I did hear that. My biggest problem with that is that's more teams in the Premier League and not including Liverpool.
No, you
That's a
can't.
massive ask for teams in Europe doing the FA Cup, the Carling Cup, the friggin' Champions League, the Europa, and all those sort of things. That's a lot of games. A lot of games.
Yeah.
And it's just too much.
Night, Christy.
Night. See you soon.
Ben and Josh, what do you guys think that the A League goes back? They will definitely finish the current A League season. Like, they are saying if that's the case, then the Jets can make the finals.
No.
Let's be realistic.
There will.
Probably mathematically.
Yeah, well, it is.
But no.
I can't see them. I can't see them. Like,
I suppose it's up to the independent A League.
for me, just to watch football again, I'm all for it. And that's not just the Jets. That's
Has
just
to
me
be
to watch football.
competitive.
The biggest problem is, and I think the A League's the smartest one out of the group in Australia. AFL obviously are looking at. They're trying to work it out. The NRL's going ahead at the end of the month.
The NRL's
There are
only going ahead because they are so broke. They can't afford not to.
Oh, yeah, but not even that. It's no different to any other competition. No different to Bundesliga, K-League. They got to do it. You know, I mean, they need to do it. There's going to be no people in the stadium. They're not going to get, the money of it's nothing. They're not going to get anything money-wise other than television rights.
But that's the big income,
But-
especially in the case of the A League.
But probably not because, as you said, everyone,
Fox are already greedy.
everything's starting to happen. K-League's now starting. People are watching the K-Leagues. That takes up your Friday night. Game on Friday night. And so forth. And then obviously, again, these are on Optus compared to Fox Sports. But Bundesliga is going to get now more coverage. If you're late,
Yeah,
you're going to struggle.
yeah.
So, and that's why you're saying where they've got to go. As you said, a lot of the other European leagues are going to follow.
Yeah.
But the longer the European country is to kick into it,
Yeah.
the less obviously less watch time and everything they're going to get.
Yeah, so it'll be
harder
those.
it's going to get to be on.
So it'll
Optus.
be those smaller leagues that'll want to get back quicker.
Correct. You look at the J League.
Well, look at the Belarusian Premier League. Look at the. I might dig into this later. The amount of the viewership numbers.
Yeah.
On a Sluts game.
Mm.
Prior to COVID.
Yeah.
And then after every other league was shut down. I'd love to see those viewer numbers.
Oh, it'd be phenomenal.
Fucking
You'd be lucky
huge.
to watch. You'd be lucky to see 2-3 people watch that.
But again, everybody will remember and start thinking about FC Sluts. 5 years from now.
yeah.
They will become into the mainstream football consciousness now. Because of this. Which is going to benefit them.
Yeah.
Because they're in, their supporter base will grow both domestically and worldwide.
Yeah.
People like the league itself will benefit from that, not just sluts.
Yeah.
People will actually seek it out now and go and watch it because I go, I wonder how they're doing.
Oh yeah, of course. Now
Like-
that they've got it out, it's like anything.
And then you've got merchandising and all that sort of shit that you can roll into it.
Yeah, it's like anything, I suppose, but it's what people know and everything else. I watch the, I watch the Portuguese second division, and no one knows that. I still watch the second division.
Oh,
Portuguese.
Ledman Pro League.
No, it's not Ledman Pro League anymore.
No, because you can't afford to buy the naming rights for it.
Bunch of tight asses. But friggin', I still watch the second division. Like,
Just then
Push-
leads up. My
And your
sleep
sleep
pattern
pattern
will be
stuff.
gone thanks to Optus Sport. Mine's already gone.
Oh,
mate.
mine's shit house. I'm one of those spastics that freaking watch football at ridiculous hours.
You are.
freaking shit. Like, yeah, well,
I was playing Football Manager till 4 a.m. this morning.
look at you go. But look, as I said, play Spiel. It's really annoyed me. Bloody Zane and freaking
It's alright, we'll get it
bloody
back.
thing.
We'll
Oh
get it
yeah, no. Just never had audio. You know, it's like when you you just get a little bit of audio drama. It's like,
It's all
serious?
fine. It's all fine until you hit the go button.
Yeah.
Look, I'll go out and say, I'll go out on a limb now.
Yeah.
We are the only live stream that I've watched today. Even Optus Sport had issues with it earlier tonight.
They did.
We are the only live stream that has gone live today that has not had echo issues.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't have that.
I have not had an echo issue.
So yeah, just send leads up. Yeah, absolutely. What do we got?
Yeah, keep West Brom down. Baggy Bunnies can play against us.
6,000 last game on YouTube.
Yeah, that's just YouTube.
That's just YouTube. There's a lot of streamers over in Europe who obviously get a lot more. How are you all watching the K League game on YT or Sports? Yeah,
We have Optus Sport, which is one of our mobile phone carriers.
yeah, it'd be like BBC over in Europe where they play.
Oh,
all the shit.
in his case, probably ESPN.
ESPN, yeah.
Yeah, well, so one of our mobile phone company or cell phone company carriers buys the rights to it,
Yes.
and they have their own website / app
Yes.
that you can have. And if you're not on Optus, you pay for it per month.
Yeah.
Luckily enough, we are. So we get it. I get it in my package for nothing.
Yeah, correct.
And that was World Cup as well. They did the World. They had World Cup too.
Yeah, talk about dramas there. Anyway, we won't go into that one. SBS bailing them out.
Yeah, that was more the fact. Yeah, when they did the
That was
when we did the World Cup, they had so many people sign up and try and watch the games all at one time. The
That
network
was-
crashed.
that was
It crashed the entire mobile network.
That was Optus Sports coming in at the wrong time.
Yeah, and
Should have
then,
really
and
waited
then
till the World Cup ended.
one of our free-to-air broadcasters that always does the World Cup went, we'll give you a chop out, we'll take 3 of the 6 games or whatever per night.
Oh yeah,
And then just random.
The 3 main games.
Yeah, the 3 main games and just random on free-to-air.
You can have the shit ones that freaking cut it out. Who
Yeah,
cares?
you can have the ones with the lower viewer numbers so your network doesn't crash.
Yeah.
Tim, you can watch it on YouTube.
Oh, there you go.
I wouldn't watch K-League on YouTube. You
Timmy,
know what sort of commentators you're going to get.
Timmy, UFC back tomorrow. Absolutely, mate. I'm all
What's
for
a UFC?
that. Huh?
What's a UFC?
I can't say it on English. I can't say it on here. There's too many people watching. And yeah.
They're the ultimate.
And,
Is that where those
the ultimate fighting
burly
championship.
blokes get into a cage and belt each other
yeah,
senseless?
yeah.
If I wanted to watch that, I'd just go down to the pub.
Yeah, it's not what I call it. I call it the please.
Oh, yeah.
But we won't go down that one. Yeah, K-League channel.
They've got their own channel? I don't know they have their own channel on YouTube.
Oh, just received 100 messages. Thanks for the 100 messages, guys. Keep pumping them through.
That's just YouTube.
Yeah. What was I going to say? So where were we? Obviously on all this stuff. Obviously Optus Sports, yeah. Look, I don't know. This whole sporting thing, the whole scenario, the whole A League, which is where we sort of went way off track. That was the first question about the A League.
That's why we're not
Look.
journos.
Oh yeah, I'm 100%. I'm not worried about it. But going back to that, the A League in itself, I'd be more than happy for it just to leave it as is. If they want to announce a champion and give Sydney a toilet seat, go nuts.
That's just another.
I don't think-
It's just another one we'll be able to give
The
the shit
biggest
for
thing
that
is-
they didn't earn.
That's the biggest thing, and a lot of clubs are going to be like that. They won't want it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
they
Like,
haven't worked for it.
well, that's you know, some.
Well, to an extent.
some have
to
in
an-
leagues.
Well, to an
Some
extent.
have it. Liverpool
extent.
can't do much more, but it still won't be the same.
Yeah.
They'll get shat on Oh, it was a friggin' la la la, never fit, whatever.
Oh, Simon Hill's doing the K League YouTube. Then in that case, Timmy Woods, yeah, you're fine, commentator-wise.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Simon Hill's probably one of the better ones we've got.
Yeah. I'm pretty impressed with that.
Well, it's not like
what was the one who got...
It's not like Fox Sports are using him right now.
I was going to say, what was the one from... Who got booted from Fox Sports?
Daniel Garb.
Daniel Garb, you should jump on there. Jump on there.
Garby!
You're the garbage man. But, where we got? Liam, hello.
My old man is off to bed now,
Vince.
fellas. Just wanted to say well done. Cheers on the stream. Cheers,
Hey,
Alex's old man.
Yeah, thanks for the questions, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one. As I said, we will try and get Damian and Graham back on at some point. Just probably do the audio. As I said, I think a NPL trivia sounds like a go.
We need a third.
Yeah, well, they know enough coaches in the NPL themselves. I'm sure they can.
I'm sure they can drag some poor bastard in.
Sure they can stay. That's it.
We'll call it our own cup.
Poor Valentine coach ain't going to win much
The
this year.
NPL
If you want to have good knowledge of football.
Northern NPL Trivia Cup. They can compete for it once a year. Who knows? It may be a title that Edworth won't win.
Ooh. Depends on it. Depends on how much he knows about his football.
So who's bossing around? Who's bossing around managing in the Northern now?
What? Oh, coach-wise?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, I couldn't even tell you, to be fair. And Josh and Ben, from all the Australian referees that you can remember, referring to in the A League, yeah, who did you like and dislike the most?
Okay, dislike Chris
No,
Beath.
no, hang on.
Nah.
No. Right. So you've asked Australia referees that you can remember refereeing in the A League. Who did you like and dislike the most? So I said, like, in the A League. So this is going back. Like, this is...
I can't remember refs that far back. They're not generally things I pay attention to.
It's a hard one. I used to hate Mr. Bean. He used to piss me off.
See, I hate Chris Beath.
I don't mind Chris Beath. I think Beathy... he got a lot of stick.
Beathy's problem for me is...
well...
he knows the rules of the game and he enacts the rules of the game. It's just sometimes he's reading on how far to discipline and how early to discipline.
Cheers, Lloyd.
Yeah, it's more at the discretion of his decision that annoys me.
Yeah,
because in a relatively light tackle, he'll throw the book at you.
Yeah,
but in a tackle where you should have had the book thrown at you, he tells you to walk away.
Yeah,
it's that inconsistency with him that gets me.
Yeah.
Probably a top bloke in real life. I'd probably have a beer with him. But I probably wouldn't want to talk to him about football because I'd probably get a bit antsy.
Thanks for watching, guys. Just for that. Yeah, no, friggin'... Yeah, I don't know, it's a hard one.
But yeah...
One day you like a referee and then the friggin' next game
but again, I'm also no ref either.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
So, if I had to pick somebody who's consistent, like, as much as I used to give Jared Gillett shit, and still do,
he's a gun.
and still do.
Nah, he's a weapon.
And I still do.
Not because of where he is now, but...
No, but he's worked hard, and for him to be recognised by that level in a country that is full of it,
yeah,
like, kudos to him. Again, it's going to take adjustment, but I don't mind Jared Gillett. Again, I don't love him, I don't mind him. Probably from a professional standpoint on my end,
yep.
And it's a big call considering he hasn't been here long, would be Alireza Fagani. And you can technically count him as an Australian.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, 100%. 100%.
He's consistent, he's done World Cups, he's got the experience. How can you not?
Yeah.
Okay, he's had a couple of rough games in the A League, but again, he's still finding his feet in the league.
Oh, man, I feel sorry for the freaking...
He's still finding his feet in the league.
I feel sorry for poor referees, man. I don't think I've played a game of football where I've played against... I've had a good referee.
No, even when I've refereed you've given me shit.
I can't...
And I've done the same to you.
I can't... I'm just an arsehole.
He is. He's one of those...
It's my way.
Oh, you're going to give that a foul, ref? Whoa.
Yeah, you got that wrong. That's straight up.
That's you, straight up.
I'm not going into that one. That was you.
Then that's me just going, Josh, you know what you did.
You were wrong.
You know what you did.
You were wrong.
In that particular instance, yes, I was.
Yeah. Thank you.
But I made more than one call on you in that game.
In all honesty, though, I don't think I've had a great referee.
Look, they're always the first one to take
club level's hard. Obviously, they're doing it for nothing. They're doing it because they love the game, like every other ref, and why everyone plays the game in general. But it's hard. It's a hard gig. It's why I never really got into it. I done my ref's course, and that's as far as I got. I was like, nah, I'm out.
What position did you play, Josh? He's a striker. Why else would you can tell by the way he reacts when you call him on something. He's a striker. Actually, no, you're probably more an attacking midfielder.
So attacking midfield's probably where I am. I'm pretty, again, I will never talk myself up in that, but I'm pretty good at distribution of the ball. Pretty pinpoint. I can hit a bloke from anywhere, which is not too bad. But yeah, I'd probably say an attacking midfield. I like to get forward. But at the same time, I'm usually the one who's having to sit back a bit because friggin' the strikers don't come back. That's my biggest pet hate, my pet peeve for sure. People who, and backs in general, backs come too far forward and then they're friggin' caught out and then they're friggin' too late to get back. Just in general, it doesn't matter who the friggin'. I don't give a shit if you're Usain Bolt or whatever it is and you get way up front and you can get back.
Yeah,
you shouldn't have to.
Yeah,
you should be going up for a reason.
You've got that, and that's where reading the game and knowing your position. Yeah,
I'm mainly attack though. I can play anywhere. I'm the first person to tell you that, and that's probably why I wasn't overly hated. My coach, I was pretty good with my coach. I got on well with my coaches because they
Are
were
you sure?
Before I moved down here, we won't go into that one.
Well, to be fair, he's not a coach.
Yeah, exactly right.
Anyone that knows me and plays me starts me as a right back, puts me into centre midfield, and then puts me as a striker, all in 45 minutes. You've got no brains.
I've been lucky enough to be coached by a lot of good blokes in the old state league and so forth at Adamstown and Toronto and so forth, but. I'm the first person to go when they come to me when I go to a club or whatever. Where do you play or where do you want to play? I said wherever you want me to play.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit. As long as I'm one of the 11, don't care. I'll probably throw my hand up at keeper, but I'll be like, I don't want that. But at the same, they're not gonna. I'm looking at me playing keeper. They're not putting me anywhere near there.
Yeah,
but
see, look, when I was
my
younger,
size, obviously, freaking I'm pretty good in the air, strength wise.
He's good at hole up. He's good at hole up.
So I can play in the back line that way, and obviously holding up as well up front. So, but again,
you're best receiving the ball back to goal and then spraying it to a winger.
Oh, 100%.
I've always said that.
Or fucking skinning the bloke, depending on.
It depends on whether you've got the wing support or not.
Depending on the bloke,
which when we played, was non-existent.
Lockie will tell you, mate, I'm a menace. Friggin' up front if he's still any.
Yeah, but I mean, you go back. Like when I was younger, it would have been I just had the same response. But as I got, late 20s,
Optus Sports K League trivia. No, classic.
When I got to that team, which we shall not name. When I got to that team, I was in my late 20s. I wasn't.
Never a kick.
I wasn't technical. I wasn't at a technical level that was acceptable anymore. But I still had the pace.
Oh yeah.
I still had pace.
Look.
So and my defensive game was a hell of a lot better than what it was in the 18 months prior to that.
Mate, we're talking about.
So I played right back.
Like guys like Luke and Aiden and other boys who are in here. We're talking about a club.
Cheers, Alex.
Take it easy, mate. Get a few into you, mate.
It's Sunday League, but much worse. They thought that the heads at the club thought that the Sunday League was the fucking Premier League.
This is more no. We're talking, guys. And again, this is me coming down. Didn't know anything about it. I knew I wasn't gonna play MPL, and I didn't want to play really state league. Although at Phoenix, I probably should have gone at the time because Romeo and a few other guys were playing. But I didn't really know anybody. It was close. I was only down the road. I went, bugger it, let's go down and play. And it's like the church league in Newcastle. That's pretty much what it is. There's no standards. It's you get what you get, and coaching ability's woeful and
in our case non-existent.
Yeah, exactly right. But it is what it is. They thought I was trying to run the club and take over the club and everything else. I was just trying to bring a bit of knowledge that I'm lucky enough to have. Obviously playing at somewhat of a level.
Same.
But at the same time, you know, I would never step on anyone's toes or try and take over a club or anything like that. I knew a lot of people in the NPL to try and come down and sort of steer them in the right direction.
They saw that as the coach saw that. Our coach saw that as undermining him.
Yeah.
Mind you, this is a coach who would look at the board every Sunday morning and goes, Ben, today you'll play right back. I'm like, okay. What would you like me to do in that position as a right back? I just want you to play right back. Yeah. That was the response.
This is a coach.
Do you want me to get forward? Do you want me to stay back? Do you want me to? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to step out of line, go early? Do you want me? You know what in that position do you want me to achieve? How do you want your fullbacks to play? And it was no, just play as a right back.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, I'd do something and he's like, no, I wanted you to stay back. Well, you didn't tell me this in the fucking sheds beforehand, mate, so I'm on my own here.
Oh, man. Yeah.
and I was like, what, 28 years of age? I'm not getting up and back fucking for 90 minutes. Not happening. I had the speed. I didn't necessarily have the stamina to do it for 90 minutes on synthetic pitch, which used to fucking hurt my shins.
I play all age. My team don't train. Show up 20 minutes before the game. Play after the game. Play after the game. Go to the pub. Yeah, look, 100%.
But that's how it should be.
Well, depending on what level you're playing. If that's
Sunday league.
Yeah, if you want to play all that's what all age is.
No coach, no manager. Okay, so that would be okay. I've seen your all age up there. It's actually decent. It's structured. Down here it ain't because it doesn't exist.
It's our metro.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's our metro.
Yeah,
that's pretty much.
That's why when Josh comes to me, he's like, "Oh, I'm going to play Sunday League down here in Victoria." I'm just like, "What? It doesn't exist down here."
Oh yeah, that's right.
It doesn't exist down here.
Yeah. No, what did I say?
You are
all
state league.
All age.
Yeah, all age and all that. It doesn't exist.
Yeah. No.
It is you're playing state league, or you're not playing at all. If you're not going to play state league, go play indoor.
Mate,
that's what it is.
I'm current player coach at the moment. That's how good it is at the moment. I play like the club's decent. The club's decent down here, Melton Phoenix. They're going in the right direction. They've been lucky enough to be given obviously a few grants and everything else in regards to payments and obviously
you guys have had
rebuilding facilities and so forth. So we've been lucky. We've been lucky enough to bring in some decent coaches. To
and
obviously help, obviously a director of football who's a wanker. I won't go into that. But really good. He doesn't. I'm not going to deny he knows his shit.
Yeah.
We just don't see eye to eye in some things. And they're going in the right places. But at the same time, it's you do with what you dealt with. I didn't really want to coach.
You tried to drag me in as an assistant coach. That never happened.
What do you mean it never happened? It's still on the cards. We
haven't
even started the season yet.
Look, maybe when we get 9 days in the week. Maybe when we get 9 days in a week, I'll think about it.
I don't need you for 2.
I don't have 2 to myself.
Of course you do. Not a bit.
Okay, how many videos have I uploaded this week?
What?
None. Exactly. There's not enough days in the week.
Nah. Just late.
I've had literally no time.
Oh, bullshit. Stop playing fucking Counter-Strike.
No, that's a proof of concept that needed testing.
What do we got?
And don't say that word. It hasn't been fully announced yet. I'm the youngest in my team by 8 years or more.
I just said you were playing Counter-Strike. It said nothing about anything else.
Yeah, but they don't know what game it was. I haven't announced it yet.
I'm the youngest in the team by 8 years. Wow.
Well, put it this way, mate. When we played Sunday League,
the oldest.
me, you, and probably Azza were the oldest people in the side.
Yeah.
Everyone else was like,
pardon me.
What, 17, 18, 19, 20?
Yeah, they're all young boys.
They were all young. No disrespect to them either. A lot of them were ethnic.
Yeah.
They were, again, nothing against them. They were Sudanese blokes. Some of the nicest blokes I've ever met.
Oh, yeah.
But, they don't have the upbringing of, or the luxury of the upbringing of being able to sit in front of a TV for the first 20 odd years of their life to watch football.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. And with that, they don't have the knowledge of formation or structure, or they don't have that experience where Josh and I had that experience because we played at such a young age, and it was things that are instilled in you, and especially even watching when you're younger as well. You know, that game. Josh plays a game of football on the pitch. I play it up here.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Trust
me,
no,
it's all in my head.
But again, 90% of my game is all here.
Oh.
5% is on the floor.
Yeah, but I think that's anyone who can play the game.
But it's more the fact
doesn't matter. That's not a professional athlete. That just
it was
anyone
more.
Who
that's more me trying to compensate for the lack of ability and skill I have in today's game.
Yeah, but the ability and the skill that friggin' I may have, it all comes from in my head.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I can't. I don't set my 90 minutes or whatever friggin' first and then go play and then nothing's up here.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Every
work like
second is thinking. That's the biggest thing. You have to think.
You have to adapt.
You have to think quick because you have no idea what you're coming up against.
Yeah, that's right. You have to adapt.
You know, it could be the second time that season that you're playing the team or whatever it is, but it's not going to be the same format. It's not going to be the same way, or it's not going to be the same.
Oh no, we changed formations 6 times in the first 6 weeks.
Stuff. Playing.
You know that something is going wrong when in your first game, somebody on your team gets substituted in the first 8 minutes.
Yeah. Who do you play for? You play Lambton, don't you? You're out at Lambton. He loves Lambton. So I'm guessing you're out at Lambton in the all age or whatever it is there.
I started all age at 16, turning 17 because there was no under 17s. Joined my cousin's team, best thing I ever done. And that's why I still play indoor. I can smash myself around for 40 minutes a week.
Yeah.
And it keeps me fit. And it keeps my brain sharp.
And you can
And I'm much better at it than what I am at outdoor.
You can damage property without getting in trouble.
I don't damage property.
Mate,
I'm never going to put my foot through one of those walls.
Jaffers, yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. No, the laughers. Not
the laughers.
The
laughers. Yeah, that's about right.
The laughers.
Just laugh it up.
But yeah, I use it to keep at my age now to keep the brain sharp.
Nah, it's the laughers. You can't change it now.
Yeah, you said laughers. Can't change it. But yeah, I use it to keep indoor to keep my brain sharp. Still.
Oh, 100%. It's
and fit because I sit at a computer and record YouTube videos and get fat.
Yeah. It's no reason. It's why, as I said, we're in Struggle Street at the moment. Me and a couple of the boys are going down tomorrow morning to friggin' have a bit of a kick and a bit of a friggin', a bit of a one-on-one training session.
He said training.
Huh?
He said training.
Who?
Old mate that messaged you. Said that he couldn't make training.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a couple of guys. Obviously, I hit up a couple of guys from the team and so forth. Again, I'm not expecting miracles from the boys and stuff like that. But at the same time, I feel that it's, just ticking over doing one-on-one ball drills. A couple of cones, a ball at your feet, and just doing basic shit. Just as you said, just keeping fit, just keeping a bit of stamina ticking over in that, which is what we need. And
that'll be every player this year.
It'll be chaos. It'll be chaos. I'm scared to. It's why
it's going to be sloppy all season.
Man, I'll be mate. They can the season.
The amount of late tackles.
I can't see how they can recover.
No.
You know what I mean? Like we're only in round 3. We might be able to make them up somewhere with a couple of midweek games or whatever, and then playing. You rule out one training session and you play the midweek. So be it. So you might be able to do that.
I couldn't do that.
My
body wouldn't keep up.
Yeah, but I'm saying in general it may be you wouldn't be able to do it every week, but on the odd occasion play 4 weeks or whatever it is, and then play another 4 weeks. Yeah. But at the same time, I can't see. The longer it goes on, the harder it's got to be to even try and work. You can't expect people to play Rego and fees for half a season. You can't expect them to pay Rego and stuff like that with no guarantee of that season being finished.
Exactly. Or even started.
You know what I mean? Oh, I'm saying, okay, they started. They lift the bands or whatever it is, it gets started, everything's sweet. They have a second wave or whatever it is, shit goes back to normal, back to where we are now, and then it gets canned again.
Yeah, I don't think...
Are you asking for people for money? You can't. Do you ask for partial payments and stuff like that? It's...
okay, in Newey, have a bit of hope. Heard we could get a 16-game season with no final. That's all right.
That's all right. It's a bit of something.
That's all right. It's about what we did for Sunday League.
It'll play 16 games, I think. Friggin', I think ours is 18 games, I think. Oh, fuck.
Now, how many you got in your league? 20? No.
No. 10 teams.
You'll pull up Football Manager, we'll say.
10 teams. There's 10 teams. So, 5, and then, so it's about 18 rounds.
Yeah.
And
then you got Doherty.
Yeah, then we get the Doherty Cup, shit like that. And then see, it's a tournament or whatever at the end of the season as well. On the Doherty.
Yeah, then for Faye.
Yeah, something like that. Friggin'. So there's a lot of shit. There's a lot of time, but the biggest thing is it's going to chew into football. It's going to chew into cricket. It's going to chew into summer sports and shit like that. And you can't expect them to, if everything's right to go when they're ready to start their season. You can't
stop them.
You can't tell them to go, mate. Just hold off a couple of weeks, right? I don't know. Don't know how they work. Some teams will be okay, I suppose, because obviously, like Phoenix, we've got our own.
You've got your own stadium. Yeah,
they don't play cricket on there, so we're fine.
We're a satellite and Nucket.
Satellite staffed. Obviously, a lot of local clubs will be stuffed. So
Barnstone and Worth would be in the same boat.
Absolutely. There'd be freaking hundreds of teams just in the friggin' Metro division. Hundreds.
Yeah.
Who will be in that situation? So, do you have maybe tournaments each week or whatever it is? They pick a team, pick a club to go play at, and there might be 7 games there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, of that division or something. Every game is played at one.
It's played at the one venue.
Venue, and friggin' they 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock on Saturdays, and then the others on the Sunday or whatever. I don't know. I don't get paid to figure that shit out.
Or you do it on a monthly tournament.
Yeah.
You do a monthly tournament with all your teams, or you split them.
Yep.
Say in the case of us, you go northwest and southwest.
Yep.
And you split them, and you have half on northwest on Sunday, and the others southwest on a Saturday, and then the others on southwest on a Saturday, all at the one place, like you did. Even like fucking 20-minute halves.
Yep.
And you play. You might play 3 or 4 games on that day.
Yep.
Across the day, depending on how you go, and then it's like a one-day tournament. And then, the winners from that next week, or the top, 3 from that, will meet with Northwest the next week at another venue, at a neutral venue.
Yeah,
and
correct.
same thing again.
Same thing, yeah.
Yeah, so then you've got your, and that would be fortnightly. You just move where it is so that every club hosts it in that division.
Yeah.
You just move it, and you just do basically a fortnightly tournament, and you just do that until end of what would be regular season, and then you come in fresh with the standard league. You just have to void and nullify all promotion relegation for the current season.
Correct. Yeah.
Which in the NPL and state leagues you could do.
Oh yeah, you can do.
You just leave it as is.
Yeah. Harry Edwards, it's a shithole. Yeah, I've played there many times. Scrape my knee plenty of times on that cricket pitch. Won't go into that.
Oh, it reminds me of fucking Albert Park's spider.
I tripped ass over tit over it friggin' one game. I wasn't even looking at the cricket pitch, watching the ball or whatever it is, and the cricket pitch sort of was raised a bit. There was a friggin' divot on the edge of the cricket pitch.
Yeah.
And I friggin' foot straight into that.
We used to play over 2. And that was fine because it was flat. Albert Park Spiders was like this.
Oh yeah, that was special.
It was uphill.
Yeah, that was cute.
It was uphill, and it was like, it wasn't even synthetic. It was the old school carpet.
Yeah.
It was the carpet with real grass.
Yeah, real grass. Yeah.
And the divots, where the stumps go, was sand, and they hadn't filled it with anything. It was just sand. Whereas ours was covered. It was flat, and it was all the same fucking material. It wasn't a mismatch. It wasn't. It was no shit like this up to the cricket pitch at the top.
It's like playing at...
I couldn't see the opposition goal.
It's like playing at Clarence Town and shit like that back in Newcastle. It was a shithole. Clarence Town's a shithole. It's like, like that. You go to the corners, but it goes out.
Yeah.
So in the middle, it's like a burrow, and then it goes... out.
Oh.
But the actual field still goes on the raise. So when you're sort of sitting there at the top trying to take a corner, someone's got to hold the finger there or whatever it is, or you've got to hold your finger and try to kick the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Because it's like that. And there's no real flat.
Yeah.
Unless you find a decent referee who allows you to take a back out of the
Outside.
field of play.
Yeah.
Find a flat bit of grass to freaking kick the shit out of it.
Oh, well, Phoenix is like that. Towards the end, we were kicking
on the pitch.
when we were kicking the other week.
Yeah.
That end of the pitch, Dale mentioned it as well. From the penalty spot, it goes like this.
Yeah.
So, in Dale's case, he's a very short goalkeeper.
Yeah.
He'd hate that. Because he'd have so many P-roll past him because
Yeah.
it goes down on the incline and that forces the ball to roll in.
Yep.
Wherever we're on a flat ground, a flat pitch, it wouldn't move.
It wouldn't move. No, exactly right. In saying that, guys, we are going to wrap it up. It's been
I did the wife message.
2.5. No, she's gone to bed. She said that on the fucking thing.
Yeah, I know. I'm just taking the piss.
Fuck you.
I'm just taking the piss.
I'm just looking at the time going 2.5 hours. Friggin' we're starting to ramble, and that's where it gets to it.
2 hours 10.
At a time, we're just like, yeah, we're rambling.
We're talking shit.
Honestly, yeah.
We'll be doing that for the past hour.
I've been doing it for the past hour, but that's all it is. As I said, we just come on to have a bit of a banter, a bit of a chat, and friggin' talk shit and talk. We jump from the K League to the friggin' to the EPL to friggin'
State league.
state leagues, friggin' always
No name leagues.
all over. Just rattling football, whatever we can find, whatever.
And this is the point of this. And we discussed this with Zaney and Graham.
Yeah, I could have had again if that was perfect and everything was fine and that those boys could and we could hear them flush. They would feel so much better because I'm sure on their end it was shit as well.
Yeah, probably.
And they wouldn't have been able to hear us maybe, and they wouldn't have.
Yeah,
Zaney
and I was off Wi-Fi.
So
the
you could
entire
tell
time.
Zaney. You could tell Zaney was struggling to hear Graham as it was.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, no worries, and then hang on, we got him back. So we will get those boys back on and talk a bit more football and talk obviously about their upcoming seasons and.
Zaney talk football all day, every day.
Oh yeah. I rang him for 2 minutes.
It's a bit like Guy Bates.
Yeah, but that's a lot. I think a lot of footballers in general at that level, they just love the game and they're in no rush. As he said, he hasn't even got his pro license. He's in no rush.
They're in it for the right reasons.
He's as he said, he's found his club. He's happy there. I don't see him going anytime soon unless they move him on.
Yeah. Which I don't see happening.
Not while he's freaking playing the way he's playing at the moment and the results he's getting. But we'll get the boys back on, and as I said to everyone else, obviously we are looking at getting a few of the girls on. There'll be guests on this show whenever they want. That's the biggest thing. I can't stress enough for you guys. As I said, all I can really do is obviously lucky Laurie is great, and I can't thank him enough. Obviously, getting a few of the guys on that we've got. Whether it's Instagram, you guys might have them on Facebook. Hit them up.
That's basically how we're getting in contact with them.
That's it. Obviously, Graham tonight was obviously Alex knows him and teed him up, and so he just went and said, "Hey, do you want to jump on?" And he was all for it. So it's that simple. You know what I mean? I'll take any guests. As I said, I'll take referees, female. I don't even care if they've never played for the Jets before.
We're happy with anyone.
I just love hearing their stories. Where they've been, what their thoughts are of the A League, what their thoughts are of the local competition. Football in general in Australia is just, it's great to see and great to hear from others who love the sport as much as we do. And we can't thank you guys obviously in the chat enough for jumping on and giving us your questions and
it's obvious by the viewer numbers that people are interested in hearing these stories.
Absolutely, I believe we've still got 7 sort of watching now just on YouTube.
At peak, we had about 35, I think.
Yeah, look, and it was shit. It was the worst episode I've ever produced. We're going to ever produce.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. Some of the early ones were a bit.
Oh yeah, but no real audio, no real crackling. That maybe the
we reserved that stuff for Len.
Yeah, the communications and all that shit, which and the it would have been pretty bad.
Yeah.
But
back when we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah, and didn't know where I wanted to go, and that's the thing with the YouTube. It changes week to week, and doing trivia and we're doing chats, and I don't care as long as it's content for me. And I figure if it's football related.
The way you basically look at it is
Josh's thoughts.
Josh's 2 cents. No, you can't use that. Somebody else uses that as a YouTube series. You can't steal that off YouTube. Yeah. And I can say that because I know he's not going to watch this.
Instagram. Yeah, look, I don't have any of them on Instagram. I just search them.
Yeah, that's the thing. You have no idea how easy it is just to get a hold of him. It's
Labby Halidi, friggin'
Insta.
Jacob Pepper, who we're going to get back on. There's so many of them I've just rattled off on Instagram. Friggin' Guy Bates was Instagram. Friggin' all of them.
Yeah, you just send a message.
Hey mate, what's going on? Oh yeah, sweet as. Caravella's going to come on at some point.
The Big Z.
McBreen, talking to McBreen, he's more than happy. He can't wait to jump on. He's working night shift at the moment, which makes life pretty hard. Guess we do most of the shit at night. I love it. Love having a chat every Friday night. Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. I figure we can't get in the pub and have a chat with the boys. You know, even cracked one tonight.
Yeah, I was on Siders
On your
tonight.
Siders tonight, so they all use it more than Facebook.
Yeah, they don't use Facebook.
Yeah. Even some of the blokes on Instagram don't use Instagram. Like Guy Bates, he goes, I totally forgot it. I seen I had a notification and friggin' just opened it up. I hadn't opened Instagram in friggin' nearly 8 months. Like,
Yeah, well, what was it? Labby Halidi, he told us he hadn't touched his Facebook in about 4 years.
Yeah. He hasn't been on Facebook in ages, yeah. I said, that's why you haven't seen
Oh, we've tried that one, Aiden.
Ben Kennedy might have tried.
We've tried.
And he said he'd come on.
Yeah. And then he went
I
dark.
got messages to prove it.
And then he went dark.
He went dark, obviously.
We'll hold that one to him, Luke. You're probably the one that's closest to him at the moment. At the Jaffers.
Yeah, get onto him. Look, man, I've tried plenty and got responses where yes, and then obviously no.
We've only just recently started getting no's.
Oh yeah, we've got a few no's at the moment. Obviously, I asked Boogs. He unfortunately doesn't want to jump on, which is fine. I asked bloody Stevie UG, and he told me that he's not worrying about football at the moment, which is fine. I respect his decision. I'm not going to argue with him. I just asked a simple question, and now he's obviously jumping on the jet stream tomorrow night, I think it is. So, look, he's back to doing what he.
A-League players are really approachable. Yeah, Luke, but the problem we have is
we're lucky with the Jets.
getting in contact with current players.
Yeah.
At our club is difficult. Because they have to go through their own media and marketing first.
At any club. Again, I'm talking.
They've got to go through media and they've got to go through their own media department at their club first.
Luke, I could give you a 2-page, two A4 pages. How many people I have messaged on Instagram, and how many of those people have not even read it or seen it on Instagram.
Yeah.
And even when they do read it and see it on Instagram, they don't respond
reply
because they
know
think
you're a journo.
Yeah. They know.
They think you're a journo.
And they know that friggin' I'm not worrying about it because I'd have to hit the club up anyway, and I'm not friggin' going to that shit. I don't really want to do it anyway, and la-di-da, whatever. It's really word of mouth and so forth. In general.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Shit, yeah. I've been talking to Guy friggin' since we started chatting or whatever nearly every day.
But even...
Talk shit and Labby and everything else.
But even prior to that, I remember when they came down here in Geelong. We hung around for a good friggin' hour and a half afterwards just talking to people like Morton Nordstrom and Wayne Brown.
Of course they're there. Yeah, of course.
But it was relaxed. But it was relaxed though too. They didn't. It wasn't like, oh shit.
Oh, plenty of Melbourne City fucked off. They got beaten, then friggin'
they brought their youth team. What did they expect?
They got beaten. All the fans left them and said, see us later.
But that was the shit thing. We flew down for it and brought a strong starting 11.
Yeah, we're expecting...
And they were expecting, a Melbourne City starting 11, and they brought all their youth team.
Talking to Duke for a year, get him on. If you're physically talking to Luke... Mitch...
I want King G. I want King G. I don't ask for many. I want King G, and I want Tessa Tamplin.
If you're talking to him, mate, and he's responding to you, hit him up.
I can hit him up.
Mate, I've got no dramas talking to him, mate. He's a freaking great player and he's a good bloke. Cheers, mate. No worries. Send a link. Grab one of the links. Send it in the freaking thingo. Let him watch it. Tell him, obviously, I've had plenty of blokes on and everything else.
We don't care. Like
I said,
Labby
on, obviously.
We don't
Duke
care where they're
Sydney,
from.
So
who is King G? That's my secret. That's what I mean. I'm saying King G because I don't want to give it away. Work it out. Oh, that's right. That's the one I was hunting down. I was going to hunt down Ivan.
Oh, yeah, Vertza. Yeah. Yeah, so there's plenty of people on there that we've been asking and everything else. And again, see, we're
again. If
someone opens up a topic,
and it's open slather, but yeah, it's difficult to get current A-League players that are contracted because they've got to go through their club first to get approval. Once they're not contracted to anyone, or they're in a league not inside Australia, it's pretty well open slather.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty well open slather. Like, the ones that are overseas, like Regan and that, are 150% easier to get.
Yeah, because they're sitting there doing...
Well, aside from that, but they're a hell of a lot easier to get than what a current A-League based player is.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why we haven't had any current A League players, because they're just so difficult to get up. They're just so hard to. I'll see if I can have it. Thank you, Aiden.
Talking about Antarctica.
Because I raved her up for 6 months prior to her scoring that goal. She's my favourite person in the W League side.
I'll let you run that at my podcast, mate. I'll happily give you the
she's the favourite Jets women in the Jets women's side. She's my favourite player.
Yeah, no, as I said, guys, we'll take anyone. Any guys you guys think? I appreciate you guys trying to get them on for us and everything else. And trust me, I'm not sitting here slouching and slacking off, not trying to do it.
His phone is constantly blowing up.
But they message me and everything else. Craig Goodwin has said he's more than happy to jump on and say g'day and obviously have a quick chat and so forth. But again,
but you go back with him.
He's got so much shit going on and everything else. And again, been over in the Middle East.
Where is his guitar? No, Saudi Arabia.
Been over there. It's a pain in the ass, time difference and everything else.
And that's the other half.
Guys, I've sent messages to Emil Heskey. I've sent messages to bloody Nick Carl. I've sent messages to Stuart Michalik. I've sent messages to friggin'
and even people that we've already spoken to.
I was almost going to say Ben's thing, then keep that on show.
But we've spoken to people who are in contact with other people. So people like Guy, and Matty Thompson and things like that are putting it out to their network. As well, going, hey, did a really great bloody podcast with these lads. They'll be interested in doing one with you as well.
Yeah.
Shoot them a message.
Or just a real laid back friggin' chat. It's not even an interview. It's just a chat. I don't want them feeling like it's friggin' they're under pressure or friggin' whatever. It is literally a chat. That's all it is. It's all we want. I don't want them to. They don't have to say anything they don't want to say.
And we're not going to probe them.
I'm not going to probe them. I'll move on to another question and be done with it.
To be fair, we don't even really make questions.
Yeah,
it's on the fly. It's not like we've got a criteria or whatever. When the Jets beat the Western Sydney Wanderers start of the A League, I asked Duke's thoughts about the game. He responded with a paragraph. What we
thought of the game. Yeah, right. No, it's good.
Yeah.
Can't bring it back on you guys. That's good. And you've got plenty of shit to say. I'm not afraid to say what he freaking thinks. Trust me.
For us, it's very much it's open. You don't have to really tell us anything, but we're not going to ask you anything that's going to get you in trouble either.
Oh no, bugger that. No, as I said, I don't need to know the ins and outs or what it was like, or friggin' what your worst friggin' experience at a club is, or friggin' who's the worst coach you've had.
Yeah,
I'm not asking. I don't care.
We don't need to ask Joel Chianese what colour underwear Diego Castro wears on a Friday. Like, I don't know where that came from. That was just like...
So what made you think of his underwear?
I don't know. It's just something that, would be, the detriment of somebody else if it got out.
I wouldn't get, what's his name on friggin' when Mitch Austin on or whatever it is and friggin' slam him about friggin' the tackle. Would I want to? Oh, mate, absolutely.
We'll ask.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
We'll ask.
Oh, yeah.
He might. He doesn't have to answer.
Yeah, but just something basic, friggin'. So how hard does he really hit? Was it all for show, or
did you see stars, or did you see birds?
Yeah, did he get you good? I'll ask around for you. Cheers, mate. Muchly appreciated. What colour underwear he wears on a cold Friday night in Stoke?
Why would we be in Stoke? Shithole.
That's a saying. That's a saying.
Fucking shithole.
But anyway, we are going to wrap it up there. In saying that, guys, I just said I know there's not too many of yous in here at the moment. I do have, as I said, the plan was to come on and obviously thank everybody for my, all obviously the subscribers on my YouTube side. I cracked 100, which, again, was never a goal or anything like that. It's a great achievement, and I can't thank everyone enough, but I will do that. As I said, we might do a quick sneaky one through the week at some point.
But we can now proudly say, if you want to watch the Smashing Crossbar podcast, go to youtube.com/Crossbar Capers.
How easy. There's no bloody ifs and buts.
There we go.
Ifs, buts, shits, and Christ knows what.
That's why I wanted him to get to 100 subs. So I could easily rattle off his YouTube URL and send people there. Because now he's allowed to have a custom one.
Yippee days. That's it. So simple. YouTube/Crossbar Capers.
That's YouTube's reward to you for getting to 100 subscribers.
Mate, I'll take it. But yeah, as I said, I've got massive news. I've got major sponsor jumping on board, which is, I can't thank Lockie and the guys at Gabriel Mar enough. As I said,
You can run it now if you want.
Oh, at the end?
Not the end, but you can put the thing up.
Oh, yeah.
I've got it. Hang on. I've got it. There we go.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Whack it in there. There you go, guys.
There you
Gabriel
go,
Mar,
lads.
Optometry, Jasmine, iCare Plus. Obviously, they're partnered by iCare Plus, but Gabriel Mar obviously is the franchise run by a good mate of mine and his father. Numbers down there as well, specialised in obviously children's vision,
Contact lenses and bulk billing.
contact lenses, and bulk billing. So, thank you very much to Lockie and his father for jumping on board. It is, again, muchly appreciated. Nothing.
You now have to declare these.
Yeah. Damn, that's why I didn't want to do it this way. Anyway, but yeah, no, thanks again to Lockie and his father, and obviously to all the team out there. Be sure to go down and, if you've need any eye tests or you know anyone looking to get glasses, etc., pop down there. I was going to do it.
No, don't do that. Save that one. I don't have that one done.
No. I will do. I will be doing a giveaway, which I will do for the next episode midweek. Which is something else I was going to do.
We can record that.
Yeah, it will be a pair of Mako eyeglasses through those guys, which I can't thank them enough to donate and give away to someone special. We will have a draw and so forth, which we'll get into next week.
How do I enter?
How do you enter?
Am I allowed to enter?
But by all means, as I said, this is no rigged no rigged freaking raffle draw or anything like that. It's very simple.
You brought it up, not me.
It's very simple. No, I mean just in general, like it's anyone can enter it. I'm not going to draw it or anything like that. We'll, worst case scenario, just pick a number, get someone on and pick a number. Maybe you can get Lockie on to pick the number, and
yeah,
so be it. Very simple.
Chris rigged.
Rigged. You're rigged.
No, I just like the glasses. Fucking.
Hey, they're snazzy glasses. I've got 2 pairs. I'm going to pick myself up a 3rd pair.
I think I need a sponsor.
Guy, they're worth. They're $200 pair of freaking glasses. They're mint.
Yeah.
I'd buy them over bloody Oakleys and stuff like that. Like they are perfect. They sit perfect. They're great for fishing and great for obviously getting out in sport and light and driving and the works. You name it. So yeah, I'll be giving a pair of them away. Obviously, I've got a photo and everything. We'll do all that later on and everything else. But it's very basic. You guys won't have to do much. Obviously, to enter it, all you have to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the Facebook page, and tag 2 mates, or friends, or family members, or whatever. 2 people.
2 peoples.
2 peoples. On the page.
On the Crossbar Capers Facebook page.
Yeah, it'll be up on the Crossbar Capers Facebook page, obviously. Just tag 2 people in there.
With what, Luke?
What? By myself. Yeah, bloody oath you taught us.
Why would I spend $200 on those when I can go spend $200 on a new processor? Or something to improve the stream? That's where my money goes, lads.
It's not all about it. It's about helping the sponsors, Ben. You'd understand if you had any.
When they help me. This is all off my own back.
How many subscribers have I given you freaking off your own back? Yeah.
How many subscribers have I given you?
Not as many as I've given you, I'm telling you now.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But I've still got 4 times what you've got.
Oh, really? Righto. Righto, you're going to get into
And the
that.
watch time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Watch time pretty good, actually.
We worked this out last week.
My watch time's pretty good, I'll give it that. Joking around.
Yeah, of course. Of course, we are.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, we're going to wrap it up. We will see you guys soon. Thank you very much for joining everyone on the Facebook and the YouTube side of things. As I said, again, thanks for the subscribe.
Flex.
Thank you very much, guys, for obviously jumping on. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube side of things. Go like the Facebook page if you haven't done so already on either of those. And leave a comment, thumbs up, dislike, whatever you feel like doing.
If you dislike, put a comment and tell us why.
Yeah, tell us why. That's the big thing. Yeah, if you dislike it, tell us why.
We can understand where all
don't
the
tell me
dislikes
the
coming from.
Don't tell me the
Audio
audio.
shit.
Don't tell me about the audio though. I get it.
We know.
Just dislike for that one.
We know.
Anything else though? If you got a dislike,
nothing we could have done.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Other than that, guys, we will catch you guys later. Thanks to Ben, obviously, for jumping on. Be sure to go check out his stuff there. Corner Flag Games. I was going to say Smashing Crossbar Podcast again, but Corner Flag Games for Ben.
I'll do the social media thing.
he's obviously doing a fair bit of FIFA stuff. Obviously,
GTA at the moment too.
GTA's going on at the moment. Bit of piss take, bit of fun, bit of a laugh, and
Chill streams
and everything else.
Looking at doing something else, but
Luke Sports Gaming as well. Go over and check him out as well. May as well
on
give
Twitch and on YouTube.
Twitch and YouTube. Bit of Fortnite I've seen earlier today, mate. So yeah,
He's doing a Jets career mode.
Oh, that's right, yeah, too, yeah. Yeah, Jets career mode. Jump on TikTok as well. Freaking check that shit out. Newcastle Jets made TikTok. Happy freaking days.
Oh, God.
Thanks, Luke. But yeah, be sure to go check Luke out as well. It's right there, clear as day, Luke Sports Gaming. And go give him a like and a subscribe and a share
follow.
and a follow and freaking
all them social media things.
All the fun shenanigans. But other than that, guys, we'll see you soon. And as always, we hate Coast Scum. Catch you guys.